Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way ho the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way ho the sea of souls. Way ho the sea of souls. Way ho the sea of souls. Oyster sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way ho, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hey ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Oyster sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Oyster sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls. Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way ho, the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Oyster sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way ho, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way ho, the sea of souls. Hey ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Oyster sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way ho, the sea of souls. Way ho, the sea of souls. Oyster sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Hey ho, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls.
Hello. That sounded too I don't know, like 60 minutes
Casual.
60 minutes or something like hello. This is an excellent start.
What you are
Wonderful.
about to see tonight may shock and disturb you.
Well, I mean that's a given, yeah. And we haven't even started the game yet, so
And you have some
Welcome.
weird. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. Welcome to this episode of the Sea of Souls campaign, brought to you by us. I'm up here, they're down there. We are the Elder Brain, and we are a collection of just nerdy guys who love D&D and want to play and have fun. So that's what we're doing. And we're jumping in to our continuing adventures of 4 adventurers aboard the Intrepid Devil. Last time on the Sea of Souls, as the Intrepid Devil made port into the Ivory Spire port, had a conversation with the head of the Department of Acquisitions from the Spire, who made off with the retrieved chest filled with dragon scales. And after some downtime in we can't really call it town, more just, in bar. It's pretty much, that's what there is there. There was a little bit of a dust up on the docks with some Sahuagin. Sahuagin. Sea devils. We're going to keep pronouncing that differently because it's fun.
Yep.
Sahagin, because that's how I say it and it sounds right. Don't fight me, or fight me, I don't care.
Stand firm.
They attacked the docks and seemed to be led by one who was sort of more of a spellcaster type, a priestess of sorts, and had been there had been a warning given in the area. There was kind of a general warning flag that had been put up, signifying that there were some dangers in the area. Sahagin being one of them. They had never attacked the port, though, according to people around the docks. This was kind of a very unusual occurrence. They're normally kind of found out at sea. They'll attack ships and the like, but for them to come right to port was kind of an odd incident. After being asked to stick around, perhaps to help, you decided not to because you had other interests south at the Porto de Arias, also called the Port of Sands, which is a free port, aka pirate port, where your captain has a connection who might be able to tell you some more about the dragon scales and what the Ivory Spire might want with them, and who also might be interested in hearing that the Ivory Spire has been collecting dragon scales among other things and what that all might be used for. So we pick up as morning dawns and the ship is about to set sail onto the Sea of Souls on what will be a 14-day journey to Porto de Arias. Unless you want to go straight through the Sea of Souls. But following the normal...
Quite all right, thank you.
It went pretty well the last time.
The normal trade route, it is roughly a 14-day journey, give or take, because you never know what could happen. So, as the ship leaves port, bright and early in the morning, because you all just kind of wanted to get out of there and make haste, you find yourselves on the open ocean sailing south. And the first leg of the journey so far, at least the first day, is proving to be a little bit overcast, but rather uneventful and calm. Gentlemen, the ship is yours, so to speak.
I think Torque is going to be making good on his promise to try and teach Talon how to play cards.
Okay.
If Talon is receptive to that, I mean, because
Uh-oh.
I could see him going either way on that.
I'm always up for learning new ways to take coin from unsuspecting people.
So, do we want to throw down some gambling here, some cards, perhaps?
I'll never turn down a friendly wager.
That could be a fun thing to do.
Or we could play for rations.
Ooh.
I mean, that's still a bit of a gamble, isn't it?
Of a higher value out here than any money would be.
That's you.
That is until we get back into port.
Precisely.
Something
if you're willing to relieve yourself of your money, I have no problem being the one to take it from you.
A small price to pay for what I hope is a prolonged stretch of peace and quiet.
Ha! You're funny.
You know
That'd be a
what?
boring campaign, wouldn't it?
I've been around the cards a little bit. Why don't I sit down and I can help you teach Tayland here?
Torque will let you have the floor.
Okay. So we're gonna play some cards, I guess. Between, is it the three of you then, or just the two of you?
I think there's plenty of room.
Depends what we're playing, I guess.
Yeah.
We're playing downtime resolution. cards. There are mechanics for this, which is great, and it's always fun to use them.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Who's
assuming
in?
it's Dinar, Tayland, and Torque, unless Flick is coming down from his roost.
No, I think I'm contemplating whether I want to root through your stuff while you guys are distracted, but I'll probably just be up in my roost.
Wants a different kind of wager.
Yeah.
See what he can find. All right. So, what, if anything, are you, is each person putting in as their wager? Now it can be. We'll say it doesn't have. We don't have to be like, match the pot kind of thing or whatever. Just whatever you want to put in. Winning or losing will.
Torque will put in 5
Okay.
gold.
5 gold.
He has more money than he knows what to do with anyway.
Just the kind of person I like to gamble with.
Okay.
Dinar will match. He's got some gold, but nothing that's going to help him get anything magical.
Okay.
So he'll wager a little bit, try to increase that pot a bit.
Okay.
Tayland, are you matching? What are you putting in?
Oh, very well.
Okay. So 5 gold in as the wager all around. Excellent. So the game is going to begin with each of you making a wisdom check. Now, normally the downtime, these rules will kind of be against, just a DC. But
They're
this
not
is going
tested for PvP, yeah.
No, so this is essentially going to be just contested between the three of you. So whoever gets the highest result in each successive round essentially will win that round.
Okay.
So an insight check is how we begin, and essentially this is how well you're able to kind of read the poker faces of your components and sort of bet against them, play the cards, play the game.
Now, this doesn't
That
apply
sort
to
of
me,
thing.
but if you're proficient with cards, do you get to add your proficiency bonus to it?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, because I'm not proficient, so it doesn't apply to me. I'm just trying to understand what I'm up against here.
Torque is more accustomed to the single player games, so
Oh,
that being said,
wow. All
he
right.
has his insightful moments.
Wow. Well, Dinar rolled 15 plus 1, so 16.
Woo. Okay. Obviously, that first round is going to go to Torque, however, because nat 20 there. Hello.
Yep. Wow.
Oh,
So
is each check a different round of betting, or?
Nope. This is just all
Oh, okay.
kind of together here. So as the three of you kind of start to play the game, and it's evident that Torque's time alone with the cards have paid off, and he just really seems to have an understanding of the deck, an understanding, oddly enough, even though he hasn't really been playing against others, just getting to know himself through all those hours of playing cards has enabled him to kind of read the table, as it were, and he seems one step ahead of you guys. At every hand you're playing, he's got one step ahead. He knows when to make the right moves, when to hold them, when to fold them.
He's going to look to Talon.
Might be a
and
song
say-
about that. I don't know, something. But
Torque is going to look to Talon and say, "It's amazing what you can discover when you stop talking and listen for a change."
It's a cool day, but Talon suddenly feels a little bit warm.
Yeah, Tayland is too busy kind of dealing with the fact that he just basically gave away 5 gold.
It's not over yet, though. So the next test in this game is how well you can actually deceive each other, and how good of a poker face you actually have for yourself. So this is going to be a deception check.
Okay.
Better those.
Dinar rolled a 14 plus 1 again. 15. Oof.
18 for me.
Torque's really good at cards.
Wow.
Tony thinks.
I can't wait until we get into combat and I can just hit nothing.
Oh man.
Wow.
You have the Torque's game face is just like, you're actually not sure if he has any other expressions than just one, and so it's actually really hard to read whether
Pretty on
like
point.
what he's going to do. And you're trying, you guys try to outsmart him, but he's just too clever for you and really hard to read.
Just kind of see me and Dinar like creeping in closer and closer, just looking at Torque's face, kind of looking at each other like.
A fly just lands on his eye and just walks across his eyeball.
And he doesn't even flinch. Yeah.
Dinar's going to lean in
It's the
towards
debate fly,
Talon.
but instead of on the head, it's on the eyeball.
Dinar's going to lean in towards Talon with a club and go, I don't know that I've ever played against a turtle before. They don't really have a till, do they?
He's not one that we can notice.
It would appear not. The final round.
Give me an intelligence check.
Torque.
I got a
might be
12 in
really,
intelligence. Let's get it.
I think Torque is going to succeed at cards very well. The third one is intimidation.
Ah!
Oh, this is the first skill so far that I'm actually proficient in.
Oh, wow.
Oh god.
So you may use charisma or strength for this. Strength would be kind of if you want to kind of use a muster, or if there's another way that you think you might be able to intimidate, be it clever wit, other things I'll allow you to use a different ability for this check.
I don't have a macro for strength intimidation. Would I just make a strength saving throw because it's the same value and we just pretend?
If it's the same value, yeah, just add
Okay.
roll strength and whatever your intimidation bonus is. But
I make a strength saving throw to hold on to the table.
Oh my goodness. All right, so this is intimidation. That's a 12 plus 1 again. So 13.
So Dinar and Talon really not being prepared for just the solidity of figure and unwavering poise during the game as Torque it's almost like it's just secondhand to him. He just understands these cards so well and understands, even if he hasn't played against other people at the game, it's just you've got a knack for it. Some people just have a knack for it, and he seems to have a knack for it. So the final result, Torque, you gain all 15 gold. Clearly.
Are any of the other sailors on the ship like taking their own side wagers about how the game is going to go?
There's a few people watching, and they don't really want to put in that kind of money yet, but they're just like, they're entertained by it for sure. Cat was just kind of laughing. But Dinar and Talon, you find yourselves out 5 gold, and Torque is 10 gold richer. The one who has no real understanding of monetary value.
He's
At
going
this
to pick
point-
up the sack of coin in his claws and say, a paltry sum. And yet, more money here than I've seen in a very long time.
think at this point, Talon's pulled out his ponytail. His hair is just a mane. The tangles all over his face as he's just... You're supposed to teach me, not destroy me.
Gotta break you down before you build you back up.
Failure, they say, is the greatest teacher of all.
Oh, shut up. I like you better when you're quiet.
I'm starting to think that maybe he's got some shark in him.
So what you're saying is you shouldn't ever play against a Sahagin? Especially in a
And
pool.
up jumps the shark with his 9 rows of teeth, saying, "You eat the dough, boys, and I'll eat the beef."
Taxis too. There's always a cheetah.
Okay. In case you haven't noticed, we enjoy puns and enjoy them a lot. So
We do.
if you don't like puns, oh well. They ain't stopping anytime soon. All right. Anything else of note you gents want to do as the ship sets sail? We're not going to do it day by day because that's going to be 14 days worth of.
Yeah, well, these guys are down
Cards?
playing cards. I'm gonna have Lefty and Shorty. I'm gonna have them blindfolded and field stripping one of the ballistas, and I'm directing traffic from the Crow's Nest, saying, "No, put that in it. No, look, pick up this thing and put. You feel the long, hard part, the smooth, round one? Yeah, okay, that goes there. And you can just. It is a comedy of errors, but
Okay, I'll put. I don't understand.
you're real close now. Now just mind the firing pin. We don't want to lose that boy.
Lefty
On
and
it goes.
Shorty. I forgot that you'd given them. Started giving the crew names already.
I've got pet crewmen.
We got Lefty, Shorty. We got Big Al, Little Al, medium-sized Al.
3.5 Al. Just various sizes of Al.
Family fun size Al.
Between getting his tail whooped in card games by Torque, Dinar would like to spend some time on deck, and I'm curious if there's any other ships that we pass along this trade route, or are there any other passing vessels as we're going south? Is anything else coming north?
At the moment, just sort of as the journey begins,
Mhm.
you do not see any other vessels around on the horizon.
Okay.
It's not a untraveled trade route, but it's also not a high traffic trade route, since it is venturing into the Sea of Souls. It's not where a majority of shipping and trade would, unless they have specific business kind of at the Ivory Tower or the Ivory Spire. Otherwise there aren't too many ships that come up this way. So for the time being, there doesn't seem to be anything apparent, but you may make a perception check for me
Okay.
if you would like.
Oh, that's a 1. Plus 1. 2.
No. Yeah. It's
That's fair.
quite a calm day. There's enough wind to catch the sails, but there's actually nothing around. Nothing of note at all.
Well, during the 14 days, Dinar's gonna kind of mill about and keep his eyes out for oncoming vessels
Okay.
throughout that span of time. So,
All right.
Tayland will, of course, keep the crew in high spirits. Keep them on
And-
time with their various tasks that they must do while aboard a ship.
Keep them in high spirits, and while he keeps in the spirits.
Yeah.
All
He
right.
really doesn't like sailing the Sea of Souls.
Why not? Such a nice place. Flick, as you are manning the crow's nest or goblining,
Stationed.
stationed in the crow's nest. There we go. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please. You've got the lookout.
All right. Hey, I see something, Captain.
off to the west. So at this point, as you're kind of starting to head almost kind of directly towards west, as you have to kind of sail out and around the islands, you see dark clouds forming on the horizon and growing quickly, and you can kind of see those flashes. And after a few minutes, you hear a little rumble echoing out across the water.
Hey, Captain, in case you missed that, storm coming.
Yeah, I heard that. You got a good look up there. Any idea how long until that hits us? If it's actually heading in our direction or not?
Sure. Just can I estimate how far away it is?
It's sounded there's about 2 minutes between seeing the flash and then hearing the thunder reach you.
Jeez.
So it's quite a ways away still. You've probably got a few several hours before it actually reaches
Hard to
you.
tell,
Yeah.
Captain, whether it's getting closer or not. I guess we'll find out in a bit.
All right. As you continue to sail on, the storm does seem to be heading specifically for the ship. Like it seems to be, as you're kind of making your way out, and you're watching the clouds, and it's not like this general storm front that's kind of coming, moving slowly across the sky. It's kind of like forming and moving towards you.
Well, that ain't right. Does this look at all similar to the spooky cloud that had the ship in it?
There's a similarity, but not exactly. There is an oddity to it though. It's easy enough to tell this is not your average natural storm. There's something off.
You reckon, Dinar? Do you think this is going to be a fun storm, or a we need to get the hell out of here storm?
I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record, but if we get closer, I could detect magic. Like, I don't know. Those are looking pretty dark, and we're a ship in the middle of a 14-day journey, and there's lightning and all that, so... I mean, menacing or not, that's not going to be fun.
Well, you and I have very different opinions on what is or is not fun.
Yeah, I like staying afloat in our boat. Especially when we're, in between two major land masses. So, matter of opinion, I suppose.
Do you think we can avoid the storm, or do you think it's going to happen regardless?
Well...
Up here, it looks like it's tracking us, guys.
Then I'm going to go with no.
Orc is staying especially silent with his eyes on the storm clouds.
Like, I mean, not even, it's not tracking us, it's leading us.
Leading, okay.
Like,
Flick,
wherever
can you
we
see
start-
any islands?
Can I see any islands nearby?
To the port side. So you can see it kind of on the map there where I've kind of situated you guys. There are some islands, smaller islands to the port. And the storm is kind of coming somewhat as you are turning. It's kind of more starboard, kind of coming towards the bow, but kind of like starboard side. And it's
I mean, we can try and hole up in these, but what do you think, Captain? I don't want to lose progress hiding when we don't need to.
Well, these islands there's a reason we go around as far as we do, because there's shallows and lots of dangerous rocks and the like that I'd actually rather be away from them if we're going to get storm tossed, because we're more likely to get holes in the bottom of the ship from them rocks.
That's
I
fair.
mean, we could either just kind of, I think our best bet's going to be to drop sail and just hunker down and try to get ourselves far enough out away from the islands, and we've got to point our front right towards any waves that are coming so we don't get swept from the side. And well,
All right,
Torque.
so
Torque, you might
haul
want to
ass.
pray to that Desfuna of yours.
For now, we haul ass, and then when things get rough, they get rough. Understood.
Oh boy. All right, boys.
Hey, Cap, I have some minor abilities to kind of absorb things like lightning. Did you perhaps maybe want me up in the crow's nest when we get in the middle of this thing?
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
Okay.
If you can absorb lightning and it can not hit the mast
That's my
and
thought.
set
Yeah.
the mast or the sails on fire, that's gonna be good for us. So
Okay.
that's mighty brave of you and good thinking, Dinar.
That's some great thinking, Dinar. That's one of the few that I got too. So we got this covered.
Oh, okay. All right. So we can trade off.
Yeah.
All right. So as you
Turn the
continue
ship
to
around me, boys, turn around and run. That stormer wants a battle, and it's sure that we're outgunned.
I'm afraid to ask this, Devin, but like I kind of want to see this list of shanties that you have, but then I also don't.
Link your Spotify.
We want to put ourselves in the weirdest situation and see if he still has a song.
And see if he still has a shanty for it. That is really good because so far it's pretty much been like, so everything that comes up, like he's got
The
a shanty for
captain
that.
watched through a spyglass, and we heard him catch his breath. We saw the storm a brew, and had become a wall of death.
Oh, no, not that one. Encouraging ones. Encouraging
Wrong.
ones.
That's the wrong shanty. I wonder if he's got a shanty for like ice cream or something. That's where he got something like an ice cream storm.
Maybe. Time will tell.
Then again, you could probably just like, go on the interwebs and do the Google, and I'm sure somebody out there somewhere has shantied about ice cream because
Of course.
reasons.
Because it's 2020 and we have Google. Yeah.
That's right. So as the storm sets in and the sails are battened down, everything's kind of tied down. You see the crew busy at work. They're locking down the cargo hold. The gun deck. The cannons, the shutters are securely put in place, and everything's kind of put in. This obviously is not the first storm that Captain Boone has sailed through, and the crew are expertly, due diligence, doing their part to tie everything down and make sure that everything's as secure as it possibly can be. And they get to the point where once everything's done, it's just as many as don't need to be on deck in case of emergency are just under in the hold and in the bunks below. And you do hear mutterings coming from below. There's a handful are praying to some are praying to Desfuna, to Marantha, goddess of nature. You hear a couple of prayers to the storm god as well to not smite them. And there's a few shanties being sung as well.
You don't know a storm till you've ride the wind neath cold and black and skies. Oh,
there's a few people singing that one. Yeah. And the storm seems to just get harder and heavier, and it just picks up until there's like a pounding rain, and the lightning. None of it actually seems to be hitting the ship, but there is a lot of it, and it's just flashing all about you. The clouds are thick and dark, and they just seem to kind of just hang. And it doesn't take long for you to notice as the ship is sailing, or not so much sailing, but still kind of like moving along a little bit. Mostly kind of riding the current at this point. The storm is staying directly centered above the Intrepid Devil. And it moves with you.
Can we see like an outer edge of this thing, or is it like hazy to a certain point that we can't see?
It's about, I'd say your best guesstimate. Actually, give me a perception check.
Okay.
With disadvantage because of the heavily obscured by the
everything.
pounding rain.
I rolled a 20. Dang it. The other one's a 7, so 8.
Yeah, really hard to see when it was coming in. I'd say Flick probably got a good guess. It's probably about a mile across.
Okay.
So it's not the biggest storm, but it's also not small. It's fairly significant, and it seems to be centered right on the ship now. And you're sailing, you're moving along. It's just staying above you.
Orc is going to be standing at the front of the ship, and he's going to, in both hands, hold his anchor and present it up to Desfuna to see if that registers anything.
Light instrument.
Okay. Give me yeah, we'll just go for religion. Give me a religion.
Okay.
Religion check here.
Have we slept since our last fight?
The hot streak ends now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you guys slept aboard the ship and then set sail in the morning.
Okay. Just kidding, I got an 18.
I was gonna say, what was that about the house street?
Wow.
As you kind of offer yourself, metaphorically prostrate before your goddess, you get a sense that this is not of her realm. This is not of her doing. There's something dark about this storm that is outside of Desfuna's realm. And as such, he doesn't seem to be, at the moment at least, able to intercede.
A false prophet.
Fuck! We could use your muscles on the mast!
Orc is going to put his anchor away and go back to the mast.
Look, are you still?
The other sailors are like practically in the air, holding it up, one hand out, and we all are back on the ground.
You drop this.
Flick, are you in the crow's nest, or is it just Dinar up in the crow's nest right now?
I think we'll trade off, so I'll be up there first, I guess.
Yep.
And
You're tying yourself to it, I hope.
a little bit. One hand on the railing and sort of, doing the cowboy ride and hooting and hollering and so, yeehaw! And waving it.
The Captain Dan.
Exactly.
Forrest Gump. Woo! All right, go ahead. Give me a perception check from the crow's nest, please.
Advantage, disadvantage, or just straight?
Just straight. Yeah, for this purpose. Yeah.
Perception. There's a solid 8 for you.
Okay. Out of the peripherals, kind of corner of your eye, in one of the lightning flashes, you swear for a second that you see something, but you wait for a second, lightning flashes again. No? Okay. That was weird. You're not sure if it's just, your mind playing tricks on you, or if there was something in the lightning, something in the storm, but threw you off a little bit.
I'll shout down to the others. Hey, Dinar, do you know anything about, storm critters?
Do I? Would I have
Go ahead and give me a
perhaps
nature check.
encountered them with the dwarves? Nature.
Or history.
Ooh, I'm trained in history. I'll take that.
Sure.
Oh, well, it's a 6 plus 6, so 12.
12. There are like elementals
Oh, great.
that you have seen in action. There's definitely been stories of, especially different parts of the seas, closer to the plane. There's rumored to be places that have closer ties to the plane of water. There's the Sea of Storms. Definitely has lots of tales coming out of things, creatures made of lightning, air elementals and the like, kind of inhabiting the storms, but nothing that really rings a bell with sort of what nothing about this storm speaks of any of those tales or encounters that you've had with elemental entities.
Well, Flick, I mean, I'm familiar with storm elementals, but this doesn't really seem like that.
That's positive thinking, Dinar.
Well, you're cheering up the group. I'm doing my best.
If you guys want to switch off at all, then Dinar can make a check from the.
Yeah, Flick, let me take a look at that.
I will scamper down.
Okay.
I will scamper up.
And it's scampering, a little bit of slipping and sliding as you try to. A little bit greasy on the mast right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a perception from the crow's nest. No disadvantage on this. It's just straight.
Oh. 1 plus 1, 2.
Good.
Oh boy.
Hey, Jack, you want to give Mike some of your rolls?
By all means.
That's 2 1s I've rolled tonight. Oh my goodness.
You're saving it for the combat. It's all
Yeah.
So, same for you. You swear you catch something in your peripherals. There's something off, but you just every time you try to look, like there's like a flash, and you're like, I see something. Oh no, that's gone. Wait, nope. But
So-
you get the feeling you're like, did I just? Was that a face? Was that an eye? What was that?
Okay, so
Somebody looking at me?
Is this face moving around?
It's not this like the exact same face. It's just you're not sure if it's just like a trick of the light again, like when you catch something kind of at the corner of your eye, and in that flash of light, sometimes it seems like there's something in the lightning or in the light as it flashes. It's you swear you catch like a picture, but then it's like not there.
Would you say that this thing that I'm seeing out of the corner of my eye is within 120 feet?
Some of them might be.
The
Some lightning
storm is.
flashes. I mean, yeah, the storm's right above you.
The
so.
storm is.
Again, none of the lightning seems to actually be hitting the ship, and it's curious that the storm is all around you and there's lightning and none of it is hitting the ship. It's
The thunder
getting pretty close.
That
and the
seems to
lightning
be-
stabbed the waves.
That seems to be breaking the laws of physics, that it's not hitting the tallest thing on the ocean. All right. Dinar is going to pull out some copper wire, and he's going to start ringing it
You
up.
get electrocuted.
That's what I'll do.
He's gonna start
And
winding it
that's
up
when the
around his
lightning all of a
fingers,
sudden starts working.
and he's just gonna wait. And the next time that he thinks he sees something out of the corner of his eye, he is going to use the message spell, and he's going to point to where he thinks he sees something, and he's going to try to communicate.
Okay. So Dinar holding up copper wire on the top of a mast during a thunderstorm. This is when electricity gets invented
Yep.
in this world. No kites or keys involved. All right, go ahead and give me another perception check then if you're actively
Okay.
looking, trying to find something.
That's a 16 plus 1. 17.
16. Okay. You're watching the lightning now, kind of watching the lightning strikes. And it's almost like for a moment you sense, oh, maybe there's a pattern to where the lightning is hitting here. And right as there's like that, just the hint of a flash kind of in the corner of your eye, you turn just in time to catch the flash. And indeed, there is an image. But it's an image of a leering skull. The light flashes and takes on this picture of like a skull. It's a mouth open, eyes like just dark pits, just to the point where you kind of like you jump back a little bit.
I will try to cast message into the demon head thing. I'll point at it. Hey! You!
Sawed off.
What is this? We're just trying to go south. What is this all about?
The only response you get is more lightning.
Guys, I tried to talk to the lightning. It didn't work.
Well, he's gone screwy.
Yeah, this is my surprise face.
All right. See, you mentioned that there's almost a pattern. So Dinar's gonna call down to Flick. Flick!
Yeah.
I think you get up here with me. Let's see if we can. I think there might be a pattern in the lightning. Let's see if we can draw this thing out.
All right, back up I go.
Shiver my timbers.
So I'll say between the two of you, if you're looking for a specific pattern or anything, you can make an investigation check, and one of you can make it with advantage if you want, with the other aiding, or you can make separate checks. So I'll leave it up to you.
I'll aid you because this is investigation with intelligence, and that's your bag. So
Investigation is intelligence. I was looking at intimidation. I was like, no, it's not. Yes, investigation. All right,
You're
so
not going
I'll
to
roll with
intimidate the
advantage.
pattern out of it.
No.
Show me your pattern.
Listen here, you weather. All right, investigation with advantage.
Yes,
Okay.
as Flick is helping keep watch.
Oh, for crying out loud. All right, that's a 6 and an 11. So my 11 is plus 4. 15.
15. Okay. It's not a definitive like pattern, like strike there, whatever. But there is. You know enough about lightning to know that natural lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, or at least it's very, very rare. But there are definite, like in the same part of the sky, even though you're moving a little bit, where there's like the pattern, the lightning will strike in the same place multiple times, and it's enough to definitely indicate to you that this is not natural. That this seems to be, there is perhaps some sort of force controlling it, moving it, operating it. Because if it was a natural storm, it would not be behaving in the way that it is. There would be a randomness to it, and there's not enough randomness to this. I'd say that's kind of what you glean from it. Yeah.
I got two theories. One, this whole thing is a giant illusion, and it's been programmed and replaying the same storm over and over. Or two, it is a storm machine up there, and it's got specific spots that it spits lightning at. Those are my ideas. Do with them what you will.
So you're suggesting there's some kind of flying machine up there?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I could get on board with that.
All right, Torque, both Flick and Dinar have lost their minds.
Haven't heard any ideas from the main deck yet.
I'm kind of busy.
So anyway,
Torque just holding down his side of the mess one-handed, being like,
You got 6 guys on one side and just Torque on the other with one hand.
Just like holding the line, just being like.
Just got it on one finger.
I would like to hear more about this weather machine theory.
Me too.
Flick, how exactly would we test that? Should I throw a firebolt up there?
yes, let's start shooting the storm. That will certainly.
I'm just...
either, if there's critters out there, it'll enrage them. If there's a machine out there, you might poke it. And if it's an illusion, you might punch right through it. This is sounding like a great idea to me. I'm all for it.
airship!
But if it's an
You're gonna
illusion
shot
and
up
we
into
can
the
punch
air?
through it, then we would know that it's not necessarily dangerous, right?
Exactly.
So
I
maybe I
mean,
should
you
try
take
to
a
punch
shot
a
into
hole.
the air.
Kinda. I don't even know if that's gonna work. I imagine my gun's powder is just done. I'm not magically shooting it.
Okay. Yeah, a normal shot, it's pretty soaked. You'd have to. Yeah. Flintlocks don't work so well in rain.
Torrential downpours here.
Torrential downforce.
Yeah. Dinar.
Actually,
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Evan.
I was gonna say I don't even think because the dust arrow spell that I flavor with this, I doubt that would even work right now, given the current surroundings.
Hard to say. Dinar,
Mhm.
you're watching the lightning. You've kind of figured out at the very least that it's not natural. Something quite off about it. And every now and then again, there's that skull. It's now that you've seen it, you can kind of see it every now and then in the lightning, and it appears just right. And it's a different skull each time. It's a different face. But there's definitely something eerie and kind of creepy about it. And as you're watching, there's one flash of lightning, and after the lightning dissipates, that image of a skull seems to kind of almost hang in the air for a minute longer than it should, outside of the lightning, and the mouth kind of opens, and the skull rushes at you in this kind of misty, ethereal form. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Constitution saving throw.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Hunger's as strong as
Just preparing my arcane deflection in case I fail here. Okay, I rolled 11. My Constitution plus 3, so 14. Does that succeed?
That does succeed. So you take 13 halved. So you take 6 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, that hurts.
First, I thought 13 was the half, and I was like,
No. So you feel this, that as the skull kind of hits you and washes over you, there's kind of like a dark feeling, like sucking your soul, that kind of passes through you, and you're just kind of like.
All right, well, Dinar's gonna grab his chest and drop to a knee because that hurt.
Yeah.
Hey, what the? Do I see this happen, or is it just?
If you're up there with them, yeah.
Oh,
You see this misty, ethereal skull come out of the lightning and just like come right through, and it just passes right through him and then kind of dissipates on the other side. But as it passes through him, there's that like you see him physically.
yeah, I'm definitely
Lurch.
pro the shooting at the storm now. D, you okay? What the hell was that thing?
I don't know, man, but that took something out of me. I'm all for shooting at that thing now.
not an illusion then.
Definitely not an illusion. This thing deals damage.
Tayland.
Yes.
Another flash of lightning. Bone white skull face appears, and again kind of hovers there for a second, and then rushes right towards you. Constitution saving throw, please.
Uh-oh.
Alrighty. 12.
Exact same thing for damage. So you take, you succeed, so you take 6 points of necrotic damage as well. As the same thing, it just rushes right through you, and it's just kind of like ugh. You feel like your soul got hit. Like, it's not a physical hit, but it's more like something inside of you just like lurches and just.
Hey, Dinar,
Yeah,
I think it's magical.
I think you might be right. I don't have time to detect it, though.
Maybe you should do that.
I don't have time. It'll take 10 minutes.
I think the magic has been well established at this point.
Torque's got a good point.
You're right about that. I ain't never seen storms shoot skulls before. That's a new one. I'm not really sure what we can do here, boys. This is out of my depth.
I suggest cannon fire and other fire.
At what? Our
At-
cannons don't exactly point up.
But they're around us.
Did Torque, lift one of the cannons and, point it upwards on an angle
Oh, you're gonna put a hole in the hull.
He's gonna put a hole
from
in
the
himself.
recoil? That's,
What's your strength?
well, it's
Strength
an
score?
it's an 18.
So your carrying capacity is pretty significant. I don't know about.
That seems like something a Goliath could do. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Probably
I
not
mean,
a turtle, yeah.
yeah, these can like they're cannons, and they've got
Yeah,
full
are.
mounts.
At a couple tons at least.
Well, and they are mounted like on, like rolling mounts and stuff as well.
So the short answer is no. Okay.
It's a good thought. I really like the thought. Maybe probably one of the swivel guns. You could probably like take one of the swivels off, and like hold that up, kind of like bazooka style. That's probably about the size that they are. That might work if you were so inclined.
I mean, it's better than nothing, but I'm sure there's probably a few people here with better aim than Torque.
Yeah, but the mental image of Torque bazooka holding a swivel gun cannon and firing it up into a storm is just beautiful. So
I'll give it a shot. I'll try it.
I mean, all right. So the first thing I'm gonna need you to do then is to give me a give me. I guess this could be athletics.
Okay.
To actually like lift this thing and kind of like you're able to kind of get it out of its mount. They're like the swivels are designed to be able to kind of like sit in and get pulled out a little bit easier.
I'll give it a shot.
Oh my goodness,
Wow.
Jack!
He's just gonna Rambo this episode.
Your rolls are on fire tonight, man. Like,
I think Torque is going to. I guess he'll need like another crewmate behind him to actually fire the trigger of the swivel gun, right? He's just sort of there as an aiming.
He's the new mount. Yeah.
He's a tripod.
yeah, it does take a little bit to kind of get it hoisted and kind of get it in like.
I call
like,
Lefty to stand
position
behind
where-
me.
There you go.
Don't shoot until you see the face. On my mark.
All right. So with Lefty aiding you, I'll still say this is going to be your attack, as you're the one kind of like aiming.
I would like to give him bardic inspiration.
Sure.
Just putting all of our eggs in the old Torque basket tonight, eh?
I mean, look at your rolls, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So
it's,
far, compared to Mike's.
Yep.
Listen, if we were in Vegas right now, this would be the part where I get up and leave the table.
Yeah, you're like, nope, not chancing anymore.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make an attack with adding +5. So roll a d20 and add +5 for the firing the swivel gun. We'll see. Wait until you see a skull appear.
Okay.
Take a shot.
Does Lefty count as doing the help action, or
No, he's basically.
Okay. It's not really helping if him being here is the only thing making this possible?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
you do have inspiration from Taylor.
Inspiration. That's okay.
the wind did howl and the thunder boomed. Thought the storm might just
Ooh,
prevail.
and there it goes.
No.
Not even
How long does it take to
gonna
reload
save
one of
you from
these
that.
things?
You see the face, and your aim is good, but you forget for a second that it takes a minute, well not a minute, but it takes a couple seconds for the swivel gun to actually fire once the fuse is lit.
There's like
it's
a
not
delay.
it's not a trigger, like it's a lit, right? So your shot is off as the face kind of appeared in the lightning. Doesn't linger there, and your shot kind of goes where the face was, but just not there anymore, and goes out, sails out for about get like 500 feet, then plops in the water below.
It's gonna preserve me.
Dinar's
It
gonna
does,
prepare.
it does take an action to reload it, but
Dinar's gonna prepare
Can I get
a
Lefty on that?
firebolt.
firebolt.
A firebolt, and he's gonna wait for having seen them appear and disappear, and then the difference between them appearing and then seeming to fire at us. He's gonna wait for that cue of it like it's about to launch, and then fire. So not just the next face, but the next face that looks like it's about to attack.
Okay. So
Then he'll-
you remember the one that flew at you, like it lingered beyond the
Mhm.
lightning, because the lightning was just like flashes there, whereas these were sort of like they appeared in the lightning and then kind of remained and
Yeah.
came at you.
So we'll throw a firebolt at the next one that tries to do that.
All right.
So Flick will have his whip.
I'm gonna keep my eyes out as well, and if I see one, I'm gonna see if I can hit it with like a something, maybe a thunder wave. I feel like that could do some damage, but I also don't want to hit the entire ship.
Minor
So
details.
probably an ice knife is the way I'm gonna go.
Okay. Go ahead and give me perception checks. All around the table here.
Okay.
12.
Is that one for me as well?
Dinar rolled a 7 plus 1, so 8.
Uh, 19.
He's back.
Okay.
He's back.
So
Merlin and I, except the one time I wanted to, then I rolled low.
Yeah.
Flick and Torque, the two of you are looking in the right direction as you see a face appear and then linger after the lightning fades. And Talon and Dinar, you're kind of scattered looking around, and you happen to be looking in the wrong direction as this one appears. So Flick and Torque can go ahead and make take an action against it if you'd like.
Is the cannon ready?
Yeah, it takes an action, so it only takes like a few seconds
Alright.
in reality out of combat.
Torque is gonna let out a bellowing roar as grips the barrel. Just, we'll see if it does any better this time. I'm gonna put my inspiration on that. I think
Go for it.
that's salvageable.
Oh, Talon stank on that. Oh yeah.
Hey,
19 again.
That'll fire true. So go ahead and roll 3d10.
All right, can I just keep this thing? Can I just take it with me?
You'll
We'll
need
pick
a
up a
full
little-
crew to work with it.
I'd say we'll pick up a companion to act as your trigger man.
Get a sidekick.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's clean 20.
Nice. Flick, what were you? Did you have something prepared or an action you
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
will. It'll have to get within 5 feet and leave a booming blade it.
take? Okay. So it appears and it's just kind of rushing down towards the ship.
And I'm
Torque
to
just
wait for it, and then
aims true and Torque as the cannonball, small cannonball, like
Yeah.
2-pounder, just like right kind of in the center of this skull. As it hits it, you watch the skull just kind of dissipate, and it's just gone.
Okay.
So Flick, you're ready, and you're like, yeah. Torque got it.
He's gonna signal for Lefty to reload another one. Because he doesn't know if this thing's gone for good yet.
Oh, we both spotted the same one. I thought we each had our own. Okay, that's much better.
So we just gotta hit it, and then it can't continue.
So the storm continues on for about another hour or so, and as you guys are on the watch now, we'll say, aware of what to look for, you see these. There's only a couple of them, a couple more that appear, and you're kind of ready for them when they come. Eventually, the rain starts to let up, and rather than the storm, like moving away from you, because normally you think, okay, it's going to move past or whatever. From the outside in, it just seems to kind of start to fade. The clouds kind of wisp away, until it just is gone. And you're
Well,
left once
that's-
again with calm seas, still overcast skies, not a sunny day, but clear.
I'm no weatherman, but that is not the way storms work.
Definitely not.
That
But we
definitely
shouldered
not
on
the
till the
way
break of day,
storms
and
work.
we came to that fearsome gale. Held to courage and to honor, and we lived to tell the tale. Oh,
we live this time.
I like that song. The part about us living to tell the tale, that's good.
I agree, Dinar. That's a good shanty. Why don't you go down below decks and sing that one to the crew, Taylor?
Will do. I'm gonna have to dry out all of my stuff first.
Yeah.
We're just gonna heft the swivel gun off of his shoulder.
That was impressive, Torque. You know, if we find one of them Gungren Smiths, I bet they could fancy up some kind of shoulder-mounted holster kind of thing for you got with that shell you got there. You know, you got a good hard surface that you can mount one of those on you.
Hardly anything impressive about it, Captain. All I did was yell at the sky and shoot a cloud. Although
and
this
it
idea
worked.
this idea you propose is potentially useful.
Now, I can't say that I've ever fought a storm before.
Now you can.
Cannons or anything else, but it was fun to watch. I mean, I was just trying to keep us pointed into the waves and the like, and I don't know what that was, but thank you, gents, for killing. I don't even know what to say. What do you do with? That's just weird.
I do wonder if we had succumbed to it, would we become another ship like the Asuna?
I'm just glad that the Asuna didn't accompany that storm.
Yes.
Know what I mean.
Orc is just sort of staring into space on the horizon from where they left the storm, with just a head full of questions and only one person, for lack of a better word, who could possibly answer them.
That's Lefty, right?
It's Lefty, yeah.
It's like,
Lefty, share your secrets.
Well, it might be Gary the Guard, but you guys left him back in town, so I mean,
He's holding down the fort, though. He's fine.
that's right.
True.
Yeah, he's the hero of the Average Spire Port. He's got to stay put.
they need him. Yep.
They need him. That's right. He's the NPC. You go back and he's like level 60, and he's oh man, like runs the place now. That guy. The rest of the day proceeds on without issue. As
That was day one.
That was day one, yeah.
that was day one. Yeah. As the skies remain clear, and for the most part, over the next few days, your sailing is fairly eventful. You do become fairly accustomed with oddities in the Sea of Souls, and a lot of the time it's just a weird shadow passes through the water, not attached to anything physical. An odd mist appears on the horizon. Sometimes a wind comes by and you swear there's like a whisper in it that you hear. Over anger waves even, maybe. And it's really unsettling. So even on the calm days, the sailing this sea there's just a general unease about it. As we venture kind of towards the shallows, once more back to sort of the region where you had encountered the ruins and that whatever creature was that inhabited them, you do come into a stretch again where it's more likely to come across ships and shipwrecks, and you do see on the morning of the sixth day, as the sun rises, clear skies, looking up ahead in just sort of the edge of a reef, flick up on the crow's nest, you can just make out what appears to be a couple of masts sticking up. There's a ship that seems to be listing pretty hard. Seems like it's kind of butted up against some rocks. It's hard to make out any more details from the distance you're at, but there's definitely ship stuck probably about a good 8 or 900 feet ahead of where you guys are.
Is this channel frequented enough that this is probably a fresh wreck? Is that what
It's possible. So you know, just from having journeyed down this way, even just to find the shipwreck in the first, that was making its way to the Ivory Spire. That this is a established trade route, and it's pretty much the only way through the shallows here. And it's pretty common for ships to run aground in the area if they're not careful or
hey, Captain,
aren't sure of their path.
permission to form a landing party and go salvage party, go see if there's anything left on that wreck there?
Can you see is flying any colors? Do you see anything anything out of the ordinary before we get closer?
Let me see what I see.
Oddly enough, you see no flag, no sails. It appears that the masts are bare. The ship itself doesn't appear to be in like horrible condition. I mean, obviously it's run aground, but this hasn't been here a very, very long time. But the lack of colors, the lack of canvas, of sails of any kind, definitely strikes you as a bit odd.
Could be a honeypot here, Captain. Just fair warning.
Where's
What do you
the
see there, Flick?
where's the nearest island to this wreck?
Well, I mean, there's small islands kind of all around. You're talking about like island, but big enough, to habitat or to land on. You probably got to go about a half a mile or so to the south, but there's lots of shallows and reefs and sandbars and the like kind of all around here. But you got to know your route. You got to have an expert navigator leading you through. Otherwise, we might end up just like that ship there.
See, my big concern is that if somebody went through the trouble of taking the sails and the colors, could this be a trap? Could there be somebody sitting out on somewhere nearby?
This is what I'm thinking. More sea devils. That's where my money is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Sahuagin are that smart. They tend to be. I mean, they're not stupid, but it doesn't seem like their kind of ambush. They tend to ambush more out in the where you wouldn't expect them to be, like in the ocean. You can't see them coming. Land ain't so much their thing.
Well, we could go in knowing it's a trap. That could be fun.
Well,
Or
couple things that I'll give you fair warning about here. There's many reasons why a ship might be abandoned, if it is abandoned, in fact. We don't know if it is or not, but could be a plague ship. It could have been looted already, victim of pirates, scavengers, and the like. Or, like you say, it could be a trap. It could be raiders, smugglers, or whatever else be waiting there for us.
well, question for you, Captain. How close do we need to get to that thing to get through here? Like, are we in?
It's pretty close to our path. We're probably going to be coming up within even 100 feet of it, I think, unless we take a long way around and find a different channel to go through. It's possible. There's many different ways to get through here. Just depends on the tide. I'd rather not go needlessly venturing for other paths if we can follow the one best charted.
So what you're saying is it's a navigational hazard that we got to clear anyway.
We're gonna have to get close.
Yep. Even if it isn't a manned ambush right now, it could be in the future. So I think we should go and punch some holes in that hull and get her off that rock and we're doing our public service going over there. Really, that's
Well, I was just gonna say there, Flick, that if there do happen to be decent folk stranded there,
well, I mean, yeah,
be
obviously.
right of us to give them a bit of a rescue and take them down to port. And if there be undecent folk, maybe perhaps we deal with them as well, differently.
I'm on board with your plan, Captain Sir.
All right.
Salvage party awaiting for your approval to depart. Then.
All right. We're gonna drop to half sail and just make our way slowly to the channel here, and we'll, I'll keep my hands firmly on the rudder here, and we'll just take her easy as we go in. You tell me if you see anything moving at all, and then we'll drop anchor and wait and reassess our plan.
G, you be ready on your message spell there, and we'll get the little guy. He can be our engine, and Talon, you're gonna sing, right?
Might as well.
Hey,
that sounds like a good plan.
Jorg. You got any thoughts on this here? I mean, I know you got some sort of connection, it seems, with Lady of the Depths. And anything tickling your shell about this situation here?
That's a good question. Would anything be happening?
Give me an insight. Give me
right now.
Insight, religion.
Let's see.
Give me a turtle check.
Let's try religion because I'm actually proficient in that.
Okay.
Oof.
Everything seems fine to me, Captain.
You're
If this does turn out to be foul play, I think we are more than adequately equipped.
You hear no hint of a whisper from your mistress of the waves.
If Desfuna found it necessary to inform me of what we are approaching, she would have done so by now.
All right,
Sounds just like the priests.
Let's take her in slow then, and we'll just keep our eyes open for anything, especially after that storm that threw skulls at us. Let's keep our eyes maybe up as well, not just down. Looking up, looking down, looking
We've
around.
got Torque. You saw him. 50 skulls came blaring right towards him, and he fired out several cannon shots like some kind of rapid fire weapon. It was amazing.
There were significantly fewer skulls.
Yeah, you might be exaggerating there, Talon.
I appreciate Talon's embellishment. He's got a knack for the way that sea tales are told. He always embellish just a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting.
Just as long as his
more
mouth,
fun that way.
Just as long as his mouth does not begin writing checks that we cannot cash, Captain.
I have no idea what that means, but warning taken. Fair enough.
I apologize. I just think it may be necessary to protect our assets. I did recently come into some money. And he's going to have the anchor over his shoulder and just walk away.
I like him.
Yeah,
all right, gents. Let's take her in slow. Eyes open, ears open.
All right. Let's get aboard the launch. And little guy, you ready to row this bad boy? Right on.
All right. So over the next little bit, the captain moves the ship very kind of slowly, and you really see his navigational skills at work here as he just seems to have he sailed this route enough that he just kind of knows where the shallows are, and he's just looking ahead, like not even really looking down the side of the ship. He just knows exactly when to steer. Some of you, if you look over the side of the ship, you come over something like maybe like 20-30 feet of a rock jutting out of the water. He just kind of expertly moves his way through, getting closer and closer. The closer you get to the ship, you can tell that it's a little bit longer than the ship that you were on.
Dinar,
Mm-hmm.
I would say you would recognize the type of ship
Oh no.
as a caravel. So it's a little bit of a sleeker, kind of longer ship. Several of them were employed by the Gungan Royal Navy, and they're built for. They're not able to be as heavily armed as some other ships, but they're built for speed, and they have quite a significant carrying capacity as well.
Would it be fair to say that a ship like that might be like a scout? Is it
Let-
that kind of speed, or
No, it's too big to be a scout ship, but it's more like a fast assault ship kind of thing.
okay?
The idea that not a heavily armed warship, but if you need to get something that can pack enough of a punch somewhere in a hurry, they would send a caravel out for that kind of thing.
And given my knowledge, how many Gungrim dwarves would have likely been on a vessel like that?
You don't know if it is a Gungrim Navy ship. You just
Okay.
know that
It's that type
it's
of
the
ship.
type of ship because I'd say out of the Talon might have some inclination as to some ship types, but as somebody who served in a navy, you're likely to have more information about different ship types,
Mhm.
other than the captain himself.
But would this have been a big crew, a small crew?
Probably roughly the same size that the Intrepid Devil would have. So
Okay.
could have a crew up to 30.
Okay.
Doesn't assume that's how many we're on, but potentially up to crew and passengers altogether. These kind of ships can hold probably about 50 people,
Okay.
and can hold several hundred tons of cargo. So
Okay. Well, gents, I'll tell you, I don't know. I haven't been on a ship like that, but those ships are meant for speed. It's possible they were rushing to something, rushing away from something, and were not paying attention. There could have been 30, 40 people on that ship, though. It's odd that we're not seeing anything.
Yeah, now if we're this close, are there bodies? Is there anything we can see on the deck at this point?
go ahead and give me perception checks if you would.
Wow. I love perceiving. I rolled a 6.
I'm
Roll
proficient.
the 7.
I'm proficient. Can I give somebody advantage?
Sure.
Uh,
Lend your eyes to them, yeah. So
let's give it to Talon. His modifier's higher, and also I've been kind of unfairly harsh to him for a couple hours now.
taking all his money.
Yeah. Well, no, that part was justified.
14.
It's the gloating about it that is beneath me.
So looking at the ship, there's a couple things that you note. It does appear to have been almost like, it looks like it's kind of blown sideways. The way that it's kind of sitting in the rocks, there's no way that it would have sailed directly in, but it almost looks like it likely hit something and then kind of got pushed by the current, by the waves, by wind into the position that it's in now, where it's kind of like leaning heavily to starboard side, kind of right up against some large rocks jutting out. The masts there's elements of rigging that are kind of just dangling free, like rope and stuff that are just kind of hanging there. Some of them look to be torn. You can actually see some spots where the rope is broken off, and there are no sails of any kind to be seen. The sails are gone. There's no colors being flown, no flags. There's also no name that you can see on the hull, and it's possible it might be on the other side, but looking anywhere along the hull, you don't see any markings identifying, the port of call, the ship's name, anything. There's no markings of any kind. The cannon ports are open, and it does appear as though the ship was armed, with the ports open and the cannons kind of loaded in firing position. The only reason they would have been there is if they were ready to fire upon something. So it does look like the ship was at least ready to engage in battle, whether or not it did or not. You don't see any signs of damage along the hull. So no signs of cannon fire, no signs of, ballista arrows sticking out. Nothing of the sort. No like damage from a ram. It's a very odd sight. And there's nobody moving aboard. From this distance, you don't see bodies. You don't smell like the blood, or normally if there's like a lot of death, you would kind of smell it in the air this close. There'd be seagulls and the like flying around. There's nothing.
I may have an idea, gents.
What are you thinking?
Well, I don't much want to get too close to that thing, given that it could very well be a horrible ghost ship or something. Luckily, we don't have to. Pull out a little feather and pop a parrot into existence.
That's a neat trick.
William, why don't you go take a look at that ship over there, huh? Crackers! Yes. Afterwards.
All right, so you send your parrot to fly across.
I will send my parrot over there. Have a look around.
Anywhere in specific you...
Not really, just kind of give an aerial view and slowly spiral down, just seeing if there's anything that we can notice from a top side, basically.
Okay.
And then eventually, of course, landing on it and looking around.
Sure. Okay. Give me a perception check for your familiar.
My familiar. Let's see. What are his? He has a plus.
Meanwhile, I'll to lean into Denargo. Now, if I was like scavenging from a ship, although the sails are easy pickings, you'd think the cannons would catch a lot more money in the long run. So I'm confused why you'd strip all the cloth off and leave the iron.
Yeah, that does seem a little suspect. Yeah, why not take the high price items? Why take materials?
Suppose the passengers on board the ship took down the sails themselves.
Well, and see, that's kind of the thought I had is, if they ran aground and they had to leave the ship, they could use the sails as makeshift tents or something, but, the nearest island, trying to swim with that sail through the water here to that island is going to be treacherous at best.
Or perhaps they had a reason that they would not want to catch the wind. We've already seen how treacherous the weather can be along this current.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
if they brought the sails down to weather a storm or whatever and just never got a chance to put them back up, they might be below decks. I guess we'll have to, might have to go over to find out the real reasons. But, what's your bird seeing?
16.
Flying above the deck. At first it seems nothing there. There's like a bit of rope. There's a hammer. It's going to be left in one spot. A barrel that's been overturned. And then what looks like a bone. A couple bones. Several bones. Scattered. Just haphazardly scattered. Kind of all about. Not a ton of them, just one or two here, there. But
We're talking like proper size bones, not like fish bones.
these would be like humanoid
Yeah.
bones. Yeah. Like a femur, things like that.
Well, that's rather depressing. Got some bones by the looks of things. Not a great sign, but not exactly ill news either.
Not completely unexpected. I'm glad they're not up and walking about. That's
Well, I wouldn't say that. It is quite peculiar that you just find bones. Generally speaking, something would have to have removed the flesh.
Well,
Well, and-
sure.
These aren't skeletons. These are bones.
But this wreck doesn't seem old enough to have corpses that would have been picked clean.
Well, that depends on what's doing the picking.
I suppose.
If you want to, I'd say you give me survival, or if are any of you proficient with water vehicles?
I believe.
Dinar has to be.
Yeah, I'm permission. I can't talk. I'm proficient with water vehicles.
Okay, so I would say go ahead and give me a make a check with that. So D20, and then I would say add your intelligence modifier and your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
We'll call this a water vehicles check.
Okay. That's an 11 plus a 6, so 17.
17. Okay. Yeah. Judging by the state of the ship, and kind of looking at signs of damage, understanding what sort of even kind of water line, what kind of like water damage you would see from a ship sitting still for a long time in water, looking for any signs of barnacles and anything like that. The ship can't have been here more than maybe 3 or 4 days.
A 3 or 4 day period. I don't care who's picking the bones. That seems not possible. Also, I feel like even bones that were picked clean, that like we'd be smelling that from here. Something else is going on. Was there your parrot flying over? Did you see any hatches?
There are cargo hatches on it. The cargo hatches are closed.
And the bones are just like on the deck of the ship itself, like above deck.
Yep, just scattered about.
Okay.
But so the cargo holds, like the grates covering the cargo holds are currently closed.
Gun ports are open if you want to head in through that way.
So the cargo
Gun ports
ports
are
are oh, wrong button. These things?
Yep.
Okay. That's just range. Yeah, Taylor, if you want to...
You can jump that far, right? Yeah.
Well, no, I was thinking of something else, actually. I mean, can your parrot fly in through the ports, or do you need me to open up a hole for you? On deck.
Devin?
Is he hearing us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There was something weird was going on there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're gonna get Willie the parrot to just kind of, I guess, go below deck, see if there's anything horrible down there.
Okay. So you want him to enter in through the cannon ports?
Sure, that makes sense.
He probably could fit through the grating of the cargo hold as well. There is that because he's a parrot.
Yeah, but I feel like going in through the side is safer because it has an easier means of escape.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead and give me another perception check for your Boyd.
My Boyd.
Boyd, let's see. Legend.
That's another 16.
Nice.
Before seeing anything, he smells
Well,
rot. Lots. It's strange why it's probably the wind that has kept it from, reaching you at the distance that you're at. But flying in, the sort of the lower deck of this ship is just covered in corpses. in various states of decay, but it is full.
Well, good news, bad news.
Found the crew,
I did.
and they're all perfectly fine.
Oh, yes.
What? Who are the crew?
Oh,
Who
some
were
sailors,
the
I
crew?
expect.
Who were the crew? Like, what are they? Are they human? Are they dwarves?
Can I even tell?
From your birds, I mean, you could give me a nature or medicine check. A bird doesn't have innate medicine, so
Well, I'd imagine it would be my own medicine, right? Because if I'm looking through
Yeah.
the bird, I'd be
give me a medicine check then. Yeah,
okay. 17.
17. Okay. Some of them are really hard to tell, but for the most part, they appear to be a mix: human, dwarf, halfling,
Can I potentially
dragonborn.
determine the cause
Obsidian.
of death?
The cause of death, you see with the medicine check, kind of through the perception, there's just like tear marks, slash marks. This was definitely a violent death. So they didn't just like starve out. There was carnage. There was fighting of some sort. There's definitely lots of signs of, wounds, puncture wounds, slash marks.
So it looks like it was a raid.
Hard to say.
Okay.
Yeah, Talon, I don't know if your boy can figure this out. Did these people die here, or were the bodies put here after they died? Right? Is this storage, or was this where the fight happened?
I mean, Flick, I'm not exactly an investigator here.
Greg, this is going to be a weird question, but
Sweet.
based on how Talon is relaying the scene, would Torque recognize any of this handiwork?
I would say no, not.
Okay.
It doesn't ring any bells.
I'm just saying, if they're all like neatly stacked, or if they're all face down, or some there's some.
Well, they're just
tell.
randomly scattered, right? Is
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Huh.
Well, whatever did this, I'm not particularly keen to find out what it was, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I just don't want them finding us.
Well, but if this is right in the middle of the shipping route, if we don't deal with it, they could ambush the next boat that comes through.
Well, that sounds like the next boat's problem.
Or it sounds like something that a group of adventurers like us could perhaps help out with.
Is there any sort of local authority that would pay bounties?
Yeah,
for
there we go. That was what I was trying to think. Yes.
Well, it would help to know where the ship came from. Typically, if you can find a ship's port of call, that's
If they've got
ten-
a logbook or a manifest? or
tends to be the place where bounties are like. That's kind of where you want to do business. Or if you can find any sort of markings or insignia, if it belongs to, for example, there's the Far Traders Guilds. They've got ships all over the place, and they do offer rewards for bringing news of their ships, or bringing their ships back. Even if you can salvage things, they'll pay you handsomely for that. But
Or
it
hell,
all
even
depends.
personal effects of for distraught loved ones back home. We might score something.
I can see if Willie
Anything we can
a
find.
captain's log or a manifesto or some kind of sigil or something. I can have him look around. I personally am not very keen on going on that ship.
Well, we might not have to. I could perhaps conjure up a servant to carry some things for us. I would need probably some kind of visual to point it towards. So could your parrot get in there and try to get into the captain's quarters, or find something that's worthwhile?
I'm sure if Willie can find a book, he can carry that.
Oh, if he could carry the book, then that's good too.
Providing it's not, a massive tome with an iron buckle on it or anything, we should be all right.
So this is going to be more along the lines of investigation.
Yes,
If you're looking for
that's
something
what I
very
was figuring it
specific.
would be.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm just gonna grab a
that's
water.
using
Maybe.
the intelligence, so would that be using my own investigation then?
This is going to be more. I'm trying to think. If you're looking at it
I
through the
asked
bird,
because
so
the parrot has 2 intelligence.
I know. I would say it would be you can use yours. It's going to be a disadvantage.
That's fair. I
Got
think
your
that,
own
yeah.
eyes looking. You're trying to look through.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it awkwardly, and I
You're
don't
trying
know
to
how
use
parrots
its
see, but-
senses and like putting what it sees through your mental process and
Sure,
figuring it out. So
it's worth a shot.
yeah.
Did that go, or did I not click it hard enough? I don't think I clicked it hard enough.
Go. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Most of what your bird sees is just gory and covered in blood and various remnants of things.
Well, we've got blood, gore,
Hard
flesh,
to make anything
bones, a little bit of refuse, some innards, some meat.
Halen,
Pretty hard to find anything.
I'll have you do this since your bird is the one involved here. Go ahead and roll a D100 for me, please.
Oh
Ooh.
boy,
This sounds promising.
he's coming back. He's coming back at me now for all of my D100s. Hey, 95.
Ooh.
5.
Is that the divine intervention one?
Oh. As Willie's kind of looking around and you're trying to peer through his eyes, all of a sudden, above one of the corpses, there's just like this wisp of vapor just kind of like rises and just kind of floats there.
Well,
Formless, but just illuminated a little bit. It's got a bit of a glow to it. A light glow, actually. A little bit of warmth coming off of it, and it just kind of hovers above this one corpse and just hangs in the air there.
You seem distraught, Tayland.
Talk to me.
Yeah,
He's going up.
it's just so I'll pull out of the parrot. You know, it's just glowing vapor. Give me a minute, and back in.
Did he say
Did he say
glowing vapor?
vapor?
What?
You hear it whispering, "Help us."
Yeah, you're already dead. I can't really help you much.
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, I can do that. Whoa, 19.
Nice.
There's nothing. This is not a malevolent spirit. There's no necrotic, like death necrotic sense coming off of this. There's it seems to be a genuine kind of distraught essence that this is something else that has brought this spirit. It does seem to be connected to the corpse, less in a haunting manner though. Almost as if something has intervened to bring this essence out to connect with you in a plea for help.
Willie's head turned sideways. He's kind of looking at it. I can't speak through my parrot, so unless mimic symbol sound that is heard. Yeah, no, not really, no.
You can ask it for crackers.
Willie could come back and be creepy at us.
Help me! I will pull out of my bird friend. Yes, well, the spirits are, well, you know, they're requesting for help, as you do.
While you're doing that, I need your bird to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's got some great.
strength save.
Oh, it's even better at that. You
You
know,
can't give a help action for this, can
these
I?
birds,
No.
these birds are well known for their strong. Oh wow, actually, okay. That's not
Wow.
bad.
Not terrible.
You pull your senses kind of out of your parrot, and you're describing the scene, and then suddenly you lose connection to your parrot.
Ah, Willie. Guess I owe you a few more crackers.
What just
Well,
happened?
My parrot's dead. I think it's about time we hit the old dusty ocean.
My condolences.
Oh no, it's fine. He'll be back.
Wait, so
If
we're just gonna
you
leave?
say so.
Well, look, they asked for help, and then they killed my bird.
Did they kill your bird,
I have no idea.
or did what
I'm
killed
assuming.
them kill your bird?
Either way.
We can't just leave this here for the next ship.
Nothing else. There's a mint of
Fair
salt.
enough. Captain, I say we just man the cannons and blow the thing out of the water.
Seconded.
I mean,
Wow.
that is an option. We won't collect any reward that way, but
All right.
remove the ship. Well, I mean, it's pretty wrecked up on those rocks there, so we'll take a lot of cannon fire to fully sink it. We'll definitely do some damage to it, though. But
That also
I
might
mean,
not
if
deal
you
with
go
why it's
over-
there.
Sorry, what was that?
It might not deal with why it's there. If we blow
True
it up.
story.
well, if there's ghosts, like you said, there's ghosts. Other than them floaty, misty skull whatnots, I haven't. Cannons don't usually seem to do too much to spirits, but I'm willing to shoot at stuff if that's what you want to do. I mean,
We'll
I
keep
think,
that in reserve.
I think Lefty and Shorty could use some target practice, anyways. So
They're getting better, I promise.
I hope so.
We've been drilling.
All right. Well, Dinar, you seem so keen on assisting. Why don't you turn invisible and go get something that can get us the, the bounty?
Well, I can't turn invisible, but I could send something over there that's invisible.
Hey,
can't-
whatever floats your boat.
But I can't see. I can only direct it to where I could see.
You're welcome to go over there.
I'm not exactly opposed to
Based
the idea.
on the experiences of Willie, I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Oh, it absolutely is not a good idea. I would never ever state that it was a good idea.
Yeah, but Willie's a bird. He can't take a punch.
No,
You're a
he can.
wizard.
Yeah, I got shield. I could mage armor up. I could take a punch, maybe two.
Like, he's not a D4 hit dice wizard, though. Let's be fair. So
All right, Torque, punch
Yes.
they've come a long way.
If you're going to go on board, then I will insist on going with you as backup.
I mean, I'm not opposed to bailing at the first sign of opposition, but there's no
I
point.
believe we've already had the first sign of opposition.
I
But
mean,
you
the
don't-
first sign of real opposition. Like, it could have just. It could be something we could take. Is all I'm saying. If we can take it, then we can get all the filthy lucre and make off like bandits per usual.
Look, Talon, did you actually see what killed your bird?
No, because you people kept asking me a bunch of questions requiring me to,
Well, you left us in suspense. My point is, what if it was just like a board that dropped from the ceiling and smushed it?
Oh,
I'm
please.
dead.
Willie's not stupid enough. Well, there was that one time.
It's possible,
All right.
ain't it?
Salvage party, boarding party. Let's roll.
I'm on it.
I see
I'll
the
give you a vote.
inflatable launch has been deployed.
We can just I'll move you guys over there if you want to, but as you row your way over to the derelict ship, why don't we go ahead and take a break,
Okay.
and
Okey-dokey.
we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Greetings, wary travelers. My name is Mike, and I will be playing the role of Dinar Neurixius, Dragonborn wizard on the Sea of Souls. Allow me to get into character and we can learn a little bit more about this pale golden dragon. Being chosen is supposed to be a good thing. Chosen by the gods to serve a purpose. However, it can mean facing a life alone. I was born in our homeland, Drakor, in the east. And though these scales are supposed to be a blessing, I was reviled by so many. I could see their jealousy, could feel their stares. My own people shunned me, and so I left. I still drew stares when I arrived in Stormhaven. It's hard to miss these scales. But the dwarves were far more accepting of me. I learned I could put my magic to good use out on the seas, so I served aboard a ship, adding my arcana to their arsenal. Maybe one day I'll return home. Maybe they will welcome me as Verithan's champion. Or at least, as kin. For now, though, life among the Gungrim is good. I am used to standing out here, used to towering over this good folk. But what they lack in size, they make up for in heart.
Hi, I'm Ian, and I play the goblin Flick Dogslicer, an Eldritch Knight fighter. Once upon a time, there was a goblin named Flick. That's me. He was a good egg, but as a recently emancipated man, he didn't necessarily have the firmest grasp on the rules of free society, and often ended up on the wrong side of the law. So anyway, I'm in this back alley, minding my own business, rooting through the trash, when this old guy in a blue dress and a big floppy hat with stars and crap all over it comes out of nowhere screaming, "Oh my god, it's a goblin," and starts shooting fire out of his hands at me. So I shanked him. I didn't mean to kill him per se, but, heat of the moment and all that. Now even I knew how this would play out with the guard, so I'm looking for a quick escape. But this old guy didn't even have the courtesy of carrying a coin purse, just this big stupid book. So, yoink, and I beat feet to the pier and sign aboard the first ship that's looking for crew. Long story short, with enough time and patience, even a bozo like me can figure out a little magic from that big old book. I joined a good crew and enjoy my life as a seafaring mercenary, trying to keep ahead of the law and maybe make a coin or two for myself. The end. By Flick.
Greetings, tale seekers and story watchers. I am Devon, medieval enthusiast and D&D veteran since my 11th birthday when I received the 3rd edition starter set. Led to a bit of a collection. I will be playing the part of Tayland Wavesinger, human bard and mariner, master of the weaponized sea shanty. Oh, it'd be alright if the wind was in our sails. Tayland is a man slowly being consumed by his own faults. He drinks far too much, and has quite a ruthless disposition against those he dislikes. But he still tries to do what's right when he can. As for his goals, well, I'll let him tell you. Oh, me name is Tayland Wavesinger, and I quickly tell to you of a man that I am a-hunting across the ocean blue, with power over the sea and sky. Believe me when I say that when I finally find the bastard, it'll be his last day.
In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf, the sacred river, ran through caverns measureless to man. Down to a sunless sea.
Torque is a Tortle barbarian, presumed to be the sole survivor of the Loggerhead tribe. Even by Tortle standards, Torque is a taciturn individual, never deigning to use 5 words where 2 will suffice, and as such has been less than forthcoming in sharing his personal history with his compatriots. What is known of Torque is that he was discovered on a remote island by a passing merchant vessel, having apparently been marooned there for some years in the wake of a shipwreck which destroyed the rest of his tribe.
It is for this reason that Torque holds a special reverence for Desfuna, goddess of the ocean, whom he believes spared his life in the ocean storm that decimated his kin. Having spent the better part of a decade in near total isolation, Torque is unfamiliar with the ways of the modern world, and his social skills are somewhat lacking. It is perhaps for this reason that he has chosen to align himself with allies who are blessed in the gift of gab, as he continues on his pilgrimage, the destination of which is unknown even to himself. Hi everyone, my name is Jack, and I am not a professional voice actor or performer by any means. However, I do have a serious passion for tabletop RPGs, and I hope that you enjoy this upcoming game as much as we're going to enjoy playing it.
We're back.
All right.
We're back now.
Yes.
We are back. Welcome back. All right, so we pick up as our four adventurers are rowing themselves over to this derelict ship that seems to be inhabited by many corpses, has some strange circumstances around it, and is wrecked up against the rocks here after Willie the parrot encountered some sort of spirit, benevolent perhaps, pleading, and then winked out of existence shortly after by something. So
Shipboards.
there we go. Good time. All right, gentlemen, you are approaching the ship, and as you do get a little bit closer now, oh, yeah, bit of rank going on.
Smell that?
Oh, I recognize that smell, all right.
Yeah, that smells more like it should.
Smell of a bunch of losers.
Wow.
A little harsh there.
Come on. You gotta have some uplifting moments. We're about to go to our death.
We're not gonna die.
Are they all dead?
If we were, there
What?
would never be
I
a
don't
better
know.
time to learn some humility.
Denara, you're a wizard. You know math, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many dead people?
Yeah, but what if
And
this was like a refugee ship or something? Carrying peasants from one place to another. These people wouldn't know how to defend themselves. You alone defended your... I mean, Torque just blew up a bunch of skull clouds, so, like, really, we can handle it.
All right.
I hope. I don't know. What do I know?
Great pep talk.
Yeah, I do what I can. I wasn't that guy when I was with the gun groom. I wasn't the pep talk guy. I was the guy listening to the pep talk and then, hurling spells.
As you approach the ship, the smell gets stronger. You can see now from the open cannon port that whatever that kind of illuminated vapor was has actually moved and is kind of hovering just inside of the cannon port now. Just a little bit of light just there.
Hi.
Hello.
Is that the thing you saw?
Yep.
I
I think it's made of water, because if it is, I could kill it.
How can we help you, Mr. Sparkle? Revenge. Hey, you're talking to the right man.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah. We got the right dudes for that.
Revenge against what?
Came out water.
Told you. See that? Who came
Oh, Flick, there are far worse things under those depths than sea devils.
Not devil.
Once the bard has a point.
The dead.
Haha.
Help us.
Well, you know what they say about Desfuna, right? You know, the she helps those who help themselves. So you're gonna back us up. If the dead killed you, surely you can kill them right back, right? Isn't that how that works? Yeah.
Bring me with you. I will help you.
Great.
Can I get a read on this thing? Is it
Give me an insight.
Smiles, everyone. Smiles.
There, especially having encountered, the undead drowned corpses that had come up, necrotic lightning skulls. This doesn't have that same energy. There is a benignness to it. It doesn't seem to be hiding anything or have harm. It generally seems like a lost soul, something.
it's not the bait to draw us in or anything like that.
No, there is a genuine plea.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, pal. Aside from revenge, Do you need us to find your bones and take them to your homeland or any crap like that?
No.
Revenge it is. Excellent. All right, point us in the right direction. Are they still on that ship, or we gotta go for another damn swim?
They are here.
Excellent.
Maybe you guys were right. Maybe we could just blow the ship up.
Actually, Torque is all in now. He's like, whatever presence dwells within this ship is an affront to Desfuna. I would rather destroy it by my own hand so that I know that it is truly eliminated, rather than leave it to chance.
Oh, you holy men.
And hey, intact ship, that's some pretty fine salvage.
That's a good point.
Do you know how much money it's going to cost to get this thing cleaned?
Not our problem.
Yeah, it won't be
We
cleaned by
return it to
us.
its proper owners. They will pay a finder's fee or some sort of release from our impound.
You got a point there. The water, is it really murky?
With that general murkiness that the Sea of Souls has, but nothing beyond that.
And I already know I can't do squat about that, so...
Yeah.
All right, Torque, you want to go for a swim?
I don't swim so much as sink.
Sink, swim, whichever.
Perhaps a belay would be. Then again, I doubt any of you would be able to lift me if you tried, so.
Well,
Overboard
Tie
I
it to the
go.
boat. Function as our own little anchor.
Orc is
there-
going to hop into the water, have his trident out.
are there any ladders that would make the ship accessible from the water?
Yes, all ships are equipped with a ladder generally.
There's a standard kind of ridges. It's less like here's your ladder, but there's gaps in the railing where there's like ridges.
Something climbable on the side.
I mean,
Yeah.
people go overboard occasionally. A little too
Yeah.
much rum.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You could. There's ways to make your way.
Easy enough to get up onto
Climb
the
up.
deck then.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Dinar's gonna go for
overboard.
the deck
Okay.
with
Yeah.
Flick. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perhaps we should stick together. All right. Okay.
So Torque, are you going like under? You're going in?
Just sort of a few feet below the surface. Unless
Okay.
everyone else is starting above deck, in which case I probably wouldn't want to split the party.
I'll stay on the boat.
Okay. Give me a perception check if you want to under the water as you go under. I'm assuming you're taking a
Okey
peek,
doke.
taking a gander.
Yes, sir. I made the roll. I'm not sure if it loaded.
There we
Oh,
go.
here we go.
Coming.
It's going up. Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah.
8.
Oof, worth the wait.
Yeah. With the current kicking up silt and muck from the bottom and the kind of general murkiness of the Sea of Souls, it's really hard to see anything.
I'll come to the surface and relay this to Dinar and Tayland.
I haven't been eaten up here yet. Why don't you all come up here and we'll start our way top down.
If anything, it helps you to understand the heightened danger of sailing through here because it's even harder to see dangers below the surface.
Dor, keep your eyes on the water.
Do you have a
Alright.
plan in mind?
I just would rather not things come out of it and we're not being aware of it. And to be completely honest, if you go last, at least you've got a big ol' shell.
Remember, if I go down, then you'll never have a chance to win that gold back from me in our rematch.
Oh yes, I'm quite aware of that. Don't worry. I'll make sure to keep you alive. But I'm also trying to keep myself alive.
All right,
I
so Flick
understand how
has
this
gone on
works.
board.
Yeah, I'm up on
Sorry.
the deck.
Dinar, you said you're going up as well?
Yep.
And then, Talon will go up the ladder and then make sure that Torque goes up last.
Yeah, Torque will go up last.
Okay.
While Torque's going up, I will then look at the water and just make sure there isn't anything weird going
Okay.
on.
Give me a perception check as he's coming up.
15.
15. So as you stand on the deck, and it's kind of like, it's definitely like tilted, as it's definitely listing towards the starboard side, so it's kind of like rocked a little bit. Not enough for you guys like slide right off of it, but it's definitely like off kilter a bit. And you're kind of standing up and looking down as Torque starts to make his way up, and there's just a moment again where you just see, was that a shadow? And then it's gone.
Torque is, as he climbs up the ladder, he's just going to be muttering his prayer to Deswin under his breath. I am the rising tide, I am the crashing wave, my heart is yours, my will is yours.
You said that with the kind of verve that I usually gave in Sunday school.
One of these days, we're really going to have to unpack whatever made you this.
This is a long and arduous story that I have no intentions of telling.
Talon, you're up on deck too?
I am, yes.
Get up on deck.
With my gun out and my rapier.
All right, I'll put you guys there. All right, standing on the deck now, the wispy kind of vapor just like floats up through the bottom of the deck and just kind of comes and hovers near you guys.
So what's the afterlife like?
Is the wispy vapor taking any kind of form, or is it just like
wispy
a
vapor?
Well,
It's
yeah,
a
but
wispy
like
vapor.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
it is a formless wispy vapor of
Okay.
wispiness and general vapor-esque
Okay.
quality. It's a vapor-like mist.
What?
So aside from the hatches right here, is there like a door? Does there appear to be a door that would lead to stairs to go to underdeck?
There's kind of the so this is where the forecastle is. There's the sort of main door that would go into typically you kind of having a better understanding of the layout of the ship. There would be sort of the galley and captain's quarters, as well as either stairs or ladder leading down to the mid deck.
Okay.
Would be kind of accessible through this general area.
I think we should start with the captain's quarters, see if we can get an idea of what ship this is, where it's from.
Find a logbook or something, or a
Yeah.
manifest, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Gives us more information about where we can collect a bounty from.
All right.
So Dinar's going to go over towards the doors.
Okay. Give a tug on the handle. It appears to be locked, stuck, jammed.
Well, if it's locked, I can certainly
Something.
be of assistance there. But if it's jammed, I think our Tortle fellow ought to be better suited.
Yeah.
Before
Let me
we
know
go,
if you need me picking a lock. I'm all over that.
yeah, it's hard to tell. It's not moving. Maybe before we start making a whole lot of noise, though, do you have a name? Dinar's referring to the wisp.
Mr. Sparkles.
Mm.
No, like an actual name. When you were alive, what was your name? Did anybody else hear anything? I didn't hear anything.
Sorry.
I do not know.
Okay. So, Mr. Sparkles.
Hey, I'm gonna high five Flick.
Bam. Yeah.
You said that the creatures, the undead, were here. Do you know specifically where they are?
No.
Okay. Well,
Any Any magical tricks that you could detect?
Well, yeah,
Some sort
but
of
it'll
detection of magic.
it'll take 10 minutes though. I don't know that we want to spend time
I'd rather
just
not
hanging
stand
out.
here for 10 minutes.
I would agree. So I don't know. I think Torque.
Flick, you want to take a look at this door?
Yeah. Flick, why don't you start?
We'll both. You guys, you watch our backs, huh? We'll
Oh, man.
hunker down at this lock.
I'm glad I remembered to mute before I sneeze this time. that was a 4-hit combo right there.
Oh man, bang bang.
So is there a lock on the door, or does it just appear to be stuck?
All right, give me an investigation check.
How
Mr.
are you
Flick.
at that, Flick?
A solid +1 here, so
I will give. Can I do the help action if
Yep.
I'm examining it as well?
Yeah, you're both taking a peek,
Cool.
comparing notes.
I'm not going to give you bardic inspiration, but you can have advantage.
you know.
Feels like we're getting that like once per session. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it seems suspect.
I love when that happens.
Oh
I know the particular like lot of trees that
Oh.
we chopped down to make this door.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh,
So-
my goodness.
Looking at the sort of the keyhole and the latch, and rather than being locked, it does appear to be jammed. And getting a really close look, looking inside the keyhole, there's like what is that? Something in there? Oh, that's bone fragments.
In the keyhole?
Yeah.
So there's like bodies piled up. Like it's
Like it looks like parts of a bone or shards of a bone or something have been like shoved into the hole and to
someone
block
was
it.
clawing at the other side trying to get out.
More like
Been
actually
jammed in
like
there.
something
just-
shoved.
Brute
Going
force
in.
jammed into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing I can do here. It's jammed, not barred, just bodily harm and grievous by the looks of things.
I could probably blow the thing open, but I feel like at that point we're just might as well just get
Just
torqued to ram it
inviting.
down.
Yeah.
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 What little element of surprise we got? Hey, Torque, how about you lay into this thing?
Quietly, don't ram it. Just
Stand back.
Give it the old nudge, nudge.
I don't suppose any of you have a crowbar.
No.
Uh,
Why didn't we pick up a
no.
crowbar?
Add that to the wish list.
Yep.
I don't have any of that, but you can have some of this perfume if you like. You probably.
I'll see if I can
you
get
really
some-
Could use it.
I'll see if I can get some leverage with my trident.
Okay.
Just kind of start like kind of stick it like in the gap between the door and the wall and just kind of
Sure.
try and pry it.
Gotcha. All right, go ahead and give me a just straight strength.
All right. $14.
You pry it enough so that parts of the door and the door jamb kind of like splinter, but where the lock is seems to kind of hold fast. So it's kind of one of those things where like the wood kind of like breaks, starts to break around it. So you've like pried a couple of spots open and broken some wood away. And as soon as you do so, kind of out of the gap, there's kind of a bit of a breeze that just kind of comes out and meets you, and you just hear like a
Huh. So friendlies inside is what you say.
or give me a perception check, please.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was almost as good as my strength.
That's enough.
12.
Out of the corner of your eye, you turn to the left, just in time to see a rotted hand grasping the top of the railing beside you. and another one.
I can't help but feel like we've been in this situation before.
Well, we know how to defeat these guys at least.
See, I told you we could do this.
Yeah, well.
Hopefully.
This does indeed seem to be similar variety. Undead that's got that kind of bloated, sunken look to it as it begins to claw its way up. And you do start to hear more sounds kind of scraping kind of around various parts of the ship. So we're going to go ahead and roll initiative.
Okie dokie.
Oh, look, it's still, hold on, I got to remove all that first.
Oh boy.
Come on.
Thor's not doing any fighting today.
I've even got a
Oh,
plus
that's
5.
3 in a row
Oh,
now.
man.
For those of you keeping track at home.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
Man.
Moving on for a big 6, Chief.
So we're going first and last.
You got 3 there, Dork.
Oh. I was reading Mike's roll for some reason. Yeah, put me down for a 3.
Dude, yeah, I'm not giving you 6. You got some kind of like double.
I just wanted to fit in with the other 6s.
Secret double initiative, that's what.
Yeah.
That was part of
Okay.
Tasha's, right?
That's right, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna leave this creepy music on because it's kind of fitting. I like it. So Flick, as you kind of look over and see this hand kind of reaching over and you're like, oh.
Well,
Well.
wait, I got one. Yeah, so. Here's what I'm gonna do, because I'm feeling a little reckless today. So I'll move to here. I will tag this cat with a booming blade. Like so.
Mm-hmm.
So 13 hit.
13 does hit.
Sweet. So we can take 8 slashing damage.
Ooh.
Low roll for me. And then I will move back out of the way. So if he wants to, if he's able to opportunity attack, I know what he's climbing up. I don't know whether he can or not, but I will.
You will. It says scimitar, but just a claw.
That did not hit.
Okay, so he does like.
That's right. So I dart in, whack him, and back off, and I'm good. Done.
Okay. That brings us to.
The 30 corpses that are now climbing up.
Only 30.
I don't know what you're talking about, Devin.
So
I told you.
the one comes towards you, pulls out this rusty-looking scimitar, takes a swipe at you.
It takes 1 thunder damage for moving.
Takes 1
Sure.
thunder damage.
Careful, that's got tetanus.
I'm going to
Garbage
assume
hit.
a 7 doesn't hit you.
Hit me or hit
You, yeah.
me? Oh no.
Yeah, I certainly hope not.
Wild if
Dinar.
it did though, right? The glass cannon barbarian.
Oh yeah. Dinar, you turn just as you see one kind of coming up towards you, and same thing, pulling out the scimitar, taking a swipe at you. Oh, oh.
Whoa. I guess that. Yep.
Can
That's
you
hard
shield that or no?
Nope, I can't. I'm way too far away from a shield. So is that 10 damage?
Out. Yeah. That's a total of 10 damage.
I guess you took that.
Five
punch after
of
all.
which is poison.
Ooh. Talon, you might have been right.
Is it just like, you're like, oh yeah, that doesn't feel good. Yeah, these swords are not nice. Flick, one comes up behind you. Does a 17 hit?
Nope.
Okay.
He's nimble.
Oh yeah. I dodge that one.
The fourth one just kind of starts to just kind of make its way along, shambling. It's like goo just like kind of dripping off of it. There's like a starfish like on its shoulder just kind of like crawling along, but it's like a rotted, like almost like an undead starfish look.
Some real like dead man's chest vibes.
Yep.
I told you, Dinar. All right. So I am going to 1, 2, 3. Let's see. There's 4 of them. I'm gonna yell, Dinar, you need to get behind us. And I will, with a quick of the squeeze box, I will begin to conjure up watery duplicates of myself, which will then look absolutely the same as me.
Nice.
Hey.
There are going to be 3 of them.
As you cast that spell, roll a d100 for me, please.
Yeah. 60.
Did
Good
you
to
become
know.
a wild magic sorcerer without us knowing?
Possibly.
Or is this a
Can't stay away from that multi-class, you know?
Hey, there was
Gotta get
this book.
all up. Gotta get all the
There's
levels.
this book that came out recently. It's got some really nice D100 tables in it.
Ah.
Oh my goodness, does it ever?
that
Actually-
I have been using on Craig a lot, and now he's having vengeance. Although
It's just
be
they're
fair,
perfect. They're just
they're
like,
really good, and to
they're
be fair,
so good.
every time I've used them, it's ended up benefiting the players way more than it was a hindrance.
Like flying 3 times. No, anyway.
I was quite intrigued when I heard that in our podcast. Shameless plug. Go listen to our podcast on Tasha's, because that I learned a lot. As somebody who doesn't own the book, I learned a stinking lot of information. I was very
Would you
interested.
say that it's informed your decision as to whether or not you're going to buy it?
Yes. Yes, it totally did.
Didn't give an answer as to which way he's going to go on that, but it informed his decision.
Well, that's what I'm angling at. Is that
Exactly.
listening to us is a good investment.
Yes. Yes.
So Talon's gonna begin doing that, and he'll give bardic inspiration to Dinar as well. Kind friends and companions, 1, come join me in rhyme. 2, lift up your voices in chorus with mine. 3.
Cool.
Does each one join in? With
Yes, they are absolutely.
Oh, so there's a chorus. Do they harmonize with you?
Oh yes. we got 1 doing bass, 1 doing treble, 1 doing alto.
Galen is his own barbershop quartet.
Oh, that might be
All
licensed.
4 of the clefs going.
He's a YouTube video of like himself, doing the different harmonies. and
Hello,
everything.
my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire.
And Talon dies of.
He dies, but we keep one
Yeah.
of the water talons around.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So the goal there, of course, is to just give tons of targets for these things.
Yeah.
And keep them off of Dinar and Flick.
So that's
And me.
yeah. So they have to roll when they try to attack you, right? To see if it hits you or.
Right. I'm just pointing out. I'm trying to make it so that there's just a bunch of them that they would go for instead by putting them out between the creatures
Gotcha.
and us.
Gotcha. Is that it for
And
Talon?
yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, Dinar.
All right. Dinar is going to one hand down on his hip, the other hand reaching into his cloak, and he's going to pull out his hand, and in his hand he now has a magical sword. How do I do that?
Nice.
There we go.
Summon the magical sword.
Using Shadow Blade, Dinar is going to pull out a an illusory blade to defend himself with this bloated corpse. Feeling inspired to at least deal with this corpse before he goes to hide. And then Dinar will make an attack against that.
So casting a spell, I need you to roll a D100 for me, please.
Oh, okay.
Boy.
I don't know what that feels like, casting spells and having to roll a D100. It's not.
No, not at all.
I'm really happy to be a barbarian right now, I gotta say.
So I rolled a
I
six.
feel really good about my decision.
A 6?
A 6. I rolled the double zeros and the 6. So I believe that's
not
just
it.
6.
Sure.
It can't be 106. So
You sure
6.
it's not a 600?
I mean,
How large is this table, Craig?
Okay. Noted. None of these haven't come into effect right yet, so it's cool.
so as long as Dinar doesn't grow 6 inches or de-age by 9 years, it's all good, man. It's all good.
These tables are a little bit different than that.
Okay, good,
but
good. Glad to hear it.
It's more just like into. I mean, no, you won't die. I mean, carry on.
All right, so I make a attack with proficiency. Sorry, guys, this is my first time using this.
No, don't worry, man.
So I make an attack. So what would my bonus be here? It's a. Is it a spell? Like would I use my spell?
You use your spell attack.
Nice. Oh, this matters. What time of day is it?
It's like afternoon.
Okay, never mind. I rolled a 7 plus 6, 13.
That hits.
That hits. Love it. So I get to roll 2d8. And it's psychic damage.
It is.
It's 4 psychic damage to that bloated corpse.
The one right beside you, obviously. I'm assuming.
Yeah, the one that just gouged a
Okay.
10 hit point hole in me.
Okay.
And then that I can't move without invoking an attack, so Dinar's just gonna stay put.
Okay. Mr. Barbarian.
All right. Well, this is what we in the barbarian business like to call a target-rich environment. So,
Soften it up for you, big bet for little guy.
first up, I am going to rage.
Yeah.
Rage.
Get angry.
I still picture Torque just being like, I am angry.
It's more of sort of like he does this sort of like the ritual, like he says the prayer to Desfuna,
Oh, yeah.
and as he finishes it, the electricity kind of gathers around him,
I love it.
and then on the
I gotta
last word, he just kind of slams the anchor into the ground and just. His
I gotta see
aura
some
just
fan art of that.
balloons out. I'm gonna need
Those of
this
you watching
gentleman.
right now, get on that fan art, please. Come
I
on.
was gonna say I'll add it to the list, Craig.
I'll commission someone sometime. I'm gonna need this gentleman here to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be
All right.
awesome if you could finish him off.
That's a 12.
Well, that's a fail. Is what that is.
So
So he's gonna take 1 lightning damage.
every
that could've
attack against this guy.
That is the exact amount of hit points he has left. So
Hey.
Oh, sweet.
Get blown up.
these guys are, they're pretty squishy. Squishy, man.
We made
They're
it-
very soggy, you know,
Yeah,
so
it's good.
literally squishy.
And as a follow-up, I don't mean to be stealing kills here, Mike, but
Nope,
you do be a squishy wizard, though.
I do.
So
You steal those kills. Steal them.
I'm gonna run up and make a reckless attack against this boyo here.
Sweet. Could be a girl, you don't know. It's hard to tell.
Against
with
this
corpses.
fellow.
Nice.
That'll definitely hit.
All right. Just gonna make sure I have my rage damage toggled.
He is sufficiently mauled.
All right, so that's gonna be 13 bludgeoning damage.
Oh,
Nice.
eviscerated, or I guess smushed.
Mm.
All just like he just like
Love it.
pile of goo like sloughs off the edge of the ship back into the ocean.
I like to think we do some sort of like tandem play, like you do the sword and then you duck to the side, and just like as you're leaving the zombies' field of vision, suddenly Torque's just right there.
Maul comes
Absolutely.
over my head and cleans.
Yeah.
Cannon.
Bait and
There it
switch.
is.
Yeah, you like duck under it because you could just hear me running up.
Yeah. Nicely done. Double kill.
Return to Desfuna's embrace.
All right, is that it for Dorky Boy?
That's all I can really do this round, yeah.
All right, Mr.
Oh,
Flick.
just that?
Yeah, just that.
Just kill two.
I only
people.
have so many actions.
All right. Flick is.
They all
going
involve
to-
killing.
Wait for it. I'm going to booming blade the guy I'm standing next to.
Hey!
Headshot. Ooh.
Ooh.
Crit.
Nicely done.
Golf clap, golf clap.
Yep.
All right, here we go. So, 13 points of damage to that cat.
Whew. Done.
Wow.
Oh, Flick was a mighty warrior with whip so big and strong. He proved
All
the
right.
others inferior by beating them like a gong.
And I will scamper over behind this guy.
Some of those songs got to be. I was gonna say some of those got to be ad libbed, right?
That was an original thing that I made.
You're the Wayne Brady of sea shanties.
Hey, that's a compliment, man.
Yep.
I'll take that.
Wayne Brady's the man.
I
That
mean, I
guy's
can't-
awesome.
I can't do any Harley.
He's still
of
doing that
Seville,
game
but-
show.
I have no idea, but he won Masked Singer last year, so.
Oh man, that was so good.
That was the
Okay,
best. I
tangent
knew
done.
it was him too. I knew it
Tangent
was
done,
him.
but that was so good.
I called it like so many shows before. I was like, it's him. It's Wayne Brady. It's gotta be Wayne Brady. I was so happy that it was too. All right, is that it for Flick?
Yeah.
Why are you all the way over there?
Because he's a speedy little bugger.
I got him surrounded, man.
I have them surrounded.
Have
It's
yourself surrounded.
Gonna,
Look at
it's
all
gonna-
these good-looking young gentlemen I have with me here.
It is going to turn and attack you. You just attack the one beside it and kill it, so it's turning around and be like, ah.
Yeah, no. I do one of these. Let him to swing his scimitar. And yeah.
All right. So Flick, as this one is kind of attacking you, you hear kind of like a off to your left, and a much bigger, meatier hand
Oh.
grabs onto the ship, and actually like the ship moves a little bit.
Just remember from last time, there's always a big one.
Remember that mini that I showed you guys earlier that I was working on?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
Got this
Boss-
totally under
boss time.
control.
That's a big boy.
Oh, jeez.
There is no problems here. It's totally under control.
I mean, and for Flick, he's especially large.
hmm
You're like the
Dang.
size of his foot.
I don't have enlarge prepared.
All right.
Oh, that would
don't
be
need it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Giant goblin versus an ogre.
Look at that initiative roll. He's
What do we
gonna
hear
pop
Shadow
right
of the
in there.
Colossus
jeez.
music right now?
Oh man.
You still beat.
Ordinarily, I'd be happy with him rolling a 7, but in this case,
Yep.
All right,
Let's
so
go with
Flicky
it.
comes in and just like this big, massive morning star, looking right like that one right there.
Oh jeez.
I just show everybody here. Hey, it's this guy. Want to see a 3D version of it?
Nice.
Yeah, comes in.
I don't like that I can
Brings it.
see what he had for lunch.
Oh, you mean just duck out of the way?
No,
His morning star like sticks into the planks, and as he pulls it up, it like pulls some wood up with it.
as
his-
it's stuck
his
down
guts are
there,
just,
I'll
like,
step onto it,
dripping
do a
out.
little backflip, just to kip up and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, bring it on, tough big guy.
Talon.
oh, that's a big one. That changes up my original plan a little bit. So they're both going after Flick at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All
I
right.
got this under control. You guys deal with the. Oh wait, there are no more.
Okay. Then I will. They're kind of spread out. Oh, what does this specifically say? Within 5 feet of it, yeah. So that won't work for the big dude. All right. I
Right here.
guess I will shoot the big guy because don't know what else. I don't want to get close to him, and I don't want to
Okay.
hit Flick.
I got this covered. Yeah, you do you.
Eat hot death again. Oh no!
No.
Had the powder wet.
Well, Flick, dodge. You can have some bardic inspiration for
That was a warning shot.
Devin, roll a d20 for me.
Ooh,
D20?
yeah, that is. Ooh, forgot that's a spell.
That's a 19.
Okay. Your gun is fine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Ones are not great.
But
All right, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I got.
Yeah.
Protect
Dinar.
me, handsome me's.
All right.
They
seeing
echo you. Like
see-
what?
Protect me, protect me.
You
seeing
guys
the
go
big guy
running
come
off
up.
in random directions.
Let's go 5, 10. Are we doing flanking in this campaign? I can't recall.
Yeah.
We are. Okay. So in this position, am I flanking? Or do
You'd
I
have to be. Yeah, you have
be
to be
there?
there to flank. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll
directly.
move there, and then I will, with my Shadow Blade, attack the bloated corpse to try to free up Flick to deal with the big guy.
Is your shadow blade a cutlass?
Sorry?
Is your shadow blade a cutlass?
I mean, it's...
It's a
I
katana.
imagine it can just look like whatever you want, right?
Oh, totally,
it,
yeah.
It pretty much can, yeah, because it takes on the properties of a finesse, light, or thrown weapon, so it could be anything. I was, in my brain, I was picturing like a scimitar.
That works too.
Yeah.
I just like to think that Dinar is secretly a huge weeb. Forgive me, master. I must go all out one last time.
I rolled a 5, so plus 6, that's only 11.
Will not hit, unfortunately.
Worse, yeah.
I mean, they're not hard to hit, but that's still a little.
Do you still
That-
have the bardic inspiration?
I was going to say, that inspiration that Talon gave Dinar, could I use it?
Mm-hmm.
So I can roll again?
Mm-hmm.
You add a D6.
No, you just add your d6.
Oh,
to
I
it.
added D6. I added D6, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was 11
Yep.
plus 1.
I
12?
might do it.
Nope, it's 13 to
Nah,
hit. Dang it!
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what a
Just,
waste of inspiration. Darn. Alright, well then Dinar ran up and shouted things. And that's his turn.
You're ugly.
Hiya!
You were ugly before you died. Now you're even uglier.
Well, that's just mean.
All right, Dork.
All right, Torque is gonna run his way up over here, interpose himself between the big guy and the little guys. Could I get the small zombie to make a dexterity save?
Most certainly.
Ooh.
Okay, so he's only gonna take half of this. So he's only gonna ignore that rage damage. Sorry, he is going to take 2 lightning damage,
You will.
and Torque is going to make another reckless attack against the ogre.
Okay. I believe it's pronounced Osier.
Oh my
That's-
god!
Oh yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Bring it on. This is gonna smart.
Nicely done, man.
That's 19 bludgeoning damage.
Wow.
Also, I did take the Crusher feat, which means 2 things. First, I'd like to push him 5 feet back, preferably off the ship that he just climbed up on. Also, because I
Okay.
got a critical hit against him, all attacks made against that ogre by people other than Torque will have advantage until the start of my next turn.
Ooh.
That's a great feat. I'm so glad you took that.
So he doesn't get pushed off the ship, but he's kind of like
Teetering.
on the edge, like we'll see. He moves back. I guess he kind of goes there. Yeah.
I think Torque is just beyond words at this point. He just lets out just a guttural roar.
I had him strength save. He just kind of like grabbed on like. But yeah.
But yeah, everybody gets advantage. Go nuts.
I'm gonna go chew him up.
Stop getting close to him. Oh my god. Everything I do is AoE.
He's gonna
Two
get
more
those
levels.
moving blades in,
More
you know?
levels.
Nicely done. All right, Flick.
All right, so I will draw the opportunity attack from this cat as I move here.
Go ahead and do that.
Yeah, no.
You miss.
All right.
Too slow.
So this is going to be a booming blade with advantage. Hacha.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Not that you even needed it. I mean,
Apparently
seriously.
not. So he can enjoy his 11 slashing damage.
Nice.
And then I will draw another opportunity attack because I'm just a glutton for punishment as I back off and try and coax him into moving.
Okay.
And he also misses. Because Flick is just unhittable today, and I'm okay with that.
It's very
Mhm.
slippery.
Mm.
I mean, zombies aren't fast.
Yeah.
To be fair, right? So they're like
They're not known for their speed.
especially big looming ones like this. They don't need to be fast when they hit you, but you just don't want to get hit. All right, is that it for Flick?
He'll need to hit you once. That's the.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Is that Flick's turn?
Yes, Flick is done.
Okay. The zombie beside Torque will hit Torque because it's the closest thing to him, and that's their strategy.
Well, not to remind the teacher that we had homework, but I did attack recklessly last turn, so that's
Mhm.
going to be with advantage against me.
It indeed is.
Oh, teacher's pet.
Not gonna matter though, right?
That won't hit. No, he just brings up the anchor and just like
Yeah.
there's just a clang.
Yeah. He ain't got much going for him. Big guy's turn. Also gonna can turn. He's gonna shift his way, just kind of step forward a little bit, so he's back on
Hey.
solid here.
Takes 1 point of thunder damage from moving.
All right. Does a 16 hit you?
That will not either.
Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do.
Torque's just parrying left and right with his big anchor. Just
Second one that I've rolled from my booming blade. I'm real happy about that.
The D8, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
Talon.
geez. Okay. Apologize in advance, Torque.
Oh, Flick, sorry. D100, please. For that booming blade. Whoa.
That's a fancy number.
A mist begins to form around the ship and just blankets and coats the deck, covering everything around the ship and obscuring everywhere.
Yikes.
Okay.
And so, Tailend, as you start your turn actually in this, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh boy. Thanks, Flick.
I'm sorry to conjure the mist that turns everyone inside out.
You feel the mist kind of like sapping strength from you, and seems to have some sort of weird effect. You gain 1 point of exhaustion.
Ooh,
Ouch.
that ain't pretty.
That's rough. Well, and everything's heavily obscured, you said?
Mm-hmm. And the fog is reminiscent of that fog you encountered previously, where there are faces and voices and
Yeah.
mysterious things moving
caught
amidst
up to
the
us.
mist.
How much you want to bet that magical gust will not do anything to this? All right, I guess I'll get in close then. I'll move up and attack this bloated corpse.
Okay.
I'll withdraw the rapier and coat it in briny ocean water and go for a stab with my
Give me a
briny
D100 as you
blade.
do so.
Mhm.
So 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
65 on the D100.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Stop doing that.
Mm.
Go ahead and
Yeah,
roll your
so-
damage.
She'll make a note for that. All right. It takes 7 acid damage.
Mm.
Yeah.
The blood and gore kind of spilling out of it lands in a really odd pattern on the deck and just spells out the word death before kind of just like pulling away.
That's metal as hell.
That was a neat trick, Talon.
I'm
I
then
wish
going
I wish that
to,
we weren't blinded by fog so we could have seen that.
I'm then going to gust of movement, jump myself back into the fog.
Gotcha.
Come out of the
Whoa.
fog, back into it.
And then you're like, nope. Dinar.
Well, I mean that bloated thing is still up, so I guess Dinar will pull back and take another slash at it with the shadow blade.
Okay.
That's
Does the heavy obscuration count as dim light?
Doesn't count as dim light. No,
Okay.
it just counts as obscuration. Yeah.
Does that affect my ability to attack?
No, it
that?
doesn't.
No. Okay.
Not if
You're right.
melee.
You're right
Right
beside
beside it,
it, so it's fine.
All right. So I rolled a 17 plus my 6, so 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. And 2d8 as my damage. All right, that is 8. 4 and 4, so 8 damage to that target. 8 psychic damage.
That'll do it. As you slice through it with your shadow blade, blood kind of again spills out onto the deck, and it just spells out the word despair, and then kind of disappears.
What the heck is going on? Why is blood spelling stuff?
You're the magical one. You tell us.
I don't have time to detect magic.
Because of the 65 that was rolled, that's why.
I know.
Not that your characters know that, but yeah.
We're just gonna roll a shoulder and go, all right, well, time to practice my calligraphy.
Dinar is going to take one step back from the ogre, and that'll be my turn.
That is morbid and awesome.
Hit it again, Torque, wherever you are.
That was sort of the general plan, yes.
If it's coagulated calligraphy, that's even better.
Oh.
Could I get Mr. Big Man to make a dexterity saving throw?
Oh, he's so fast.
They're nimble as hell.
He's so good at this.
Oh!
Apparently he is.
Well,
Wow.
1 divided by 2 rounded up is still 1. So
It's a
that's
minimum.
one-
It's always a minimum of 1. Yeah.
That's 1
Wow.
lightning damage. I'm gonna
the worst
position
thing
up
that
here
can
because
happen.
I really want to knock him overboard.
He's got a -2 to Dex.
I really.
Mhm, mhm.
He rolls a 20.
And I'm gonna hit him with another great big
Lot of
maul. I'm gonna attack recklessly.
All right. That's a hit.
15? All
Yep.
right. So that's 17 bludgeoning damage,
Nice.
and I'm gonna try and knock him back 5 feet again.
Okay. Strength save, which he's really good at. And he kind of moves back. Actually, where are you there? So he can't kind of be there because he kind of hangs on. Oh. The railing kind of like cracks a little bit and splinters, but part of his jaw is just like hanging off.
Just growls back at him.
Like,
All right, Flick's gonna dart in. Booming blade. Hacha.
D100, please.
Ooh.
Sorry, not with advantage. Let's try that again. Huh. There we go.
That will hit.
All right.
G100.
8 damage, and then I will incur the attack of opportunity and draw back.
Okay, give me a D100, please.
For sure.
Okay, I don't think that's gonna have too much effect at the moment. If there were any light sources up, they dim.
Hmm.
But it's daytime, so. Daytime.
You can't dim the sun?
No.
I mean, I tried. I really
Maybe if Torque shoots it hard enough.
Uh-oh.
5. Yes, I will not be able to do anything about that.
He rolled a 1 in there, though, so 10.
Wow.
Still 10 morning, 10 damage.
10 damage. Very good.
You don't quite get out of the way as it slams down into the deck.
All right, then last thing on my turn as bonus action, I will second wind.
Okay. Good call. Those guys are dead.
Here we go. I get it all back. Already done.
Nice.
It's like it never happened.
Nicely done. Okay. It's just gonna step in again, and it's gonna go for Torque because they're
Takes
zombies, and
7
it's the
thunder
closest thing.
damage for this one.
Oh, yes, he moves up. He takes 7 thunder.
Nice.
Okay. Nicely done.
I like fighting dumb things that actually trigger Booming Blade. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you were like a normal person, you probably wouldn't pick up on it until it happens the first time, right?
Mhm.
And it's a zombie. It's like targets in front of me, I attack. That's basically its strategy.
Is it attacking me?
It is attacking you.
It
It has
gets-
advantage.
It has advantage, yeah. That will still miss though.
Hooray.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
Taylor.
just imagining like a Dark Souls parry, just a big clash, and then we both go flying back.
Well, seeing as I can't see nothing, I guess I will make
Double
my way
negative.
over.
You can't see anything, Taylor. Thank you very much.
I guess I'll be making my way over to where I assume I can tell where the ogre zombie is based on the giant grunts and the sounds.
He's over here.
I mean, you can move towards it.
Yeah, I will move.
And as
up.
you get closer, you're like, oh, there it is.
Oh, there he is. Oh boy.
Looming in the fog.
And I'll run up to him, and as I'm doing that, I will just start to me. And let's show him what a real thunder wave might be like,
Okay.
which I know is a spell.
Mm-hmm.
DC 13 con save, which I'm sure he's great at.
Oh, am I in the radius for this too, or?
Are you within 15 feet? Then yes.
No,
Well, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
anger it. You can angle your thunder wave. That's a
Yeah. I'm trying to throw him off the ship, but I guess I'll put it in the cube.
I mean, I haven't taken any damage yet. I can,
Yeah, I kind of figured you'd be all right with it.
no hard feelings. I will make the save though. What's the DC?
13.
like so. Would
Okay, yeah, we're Gucci. Is it halved on a save or?
Yes.
Okay,
So
I take
he takes
2 damage,
6 thunder damage.
and I take 3.
No, you'll take 6 as well because he also
Oh.
succeeded.
Wait, how much? You did 9, right?
I
9
did
there?
no 9 plus 4 because I did it at a
Oh.
higher cast.
Right. Okay. I see that.
I upcast it.
Okay.
And then I will again
He's looking pretty
fly
rough.
back in the winds, and in recompense, I shall give Torque bardic inspiration.
The gore and splatter from the zombie flows onto the deck and spells out 2020
Oh no!
and then disappears.
That one's a bit. I'm not sure if I get that one.
You feel like something in your mind still like you get like a twitch, like I don't like it.
The wind it howled and the thunder boomed.
it's,
I
one
feel
of
like I
the-
want to stay at least 6 feet away from all of you now for some reason.
Torque
Is
just
that
goes,
weird?
all right, Dinar.
All right. So how close do I have to get to this thing to see it? Do I have to be within
Wait,
5 feet?
I need your D100 there, Talon.
Oh yeah.
Uh.
26.
Interesting.
Oh no.
Okay, cool. Dinar, sorry, what was your question?
How close do I have to be to the thing to see it?
Pretty much right at it.
Pretty much right at it.
It's very thick fog, yeah.
All right, that sucks. All right. Well, Dinar's feeling bold and stupid, so he's gonna go right in and attack it with his shadow blade.
So as you move towards it, your shadow stays behind.
My shadow.
Your shadow.
Your shadow
not
does
your sword. Your shadow.
your shadow does not follow you. Your shadow stays, a la Peter Pan.
Interesting.
It remains on the deck, and Talon, you look down and you see Dinar's shadow, and it's just like moving its hands around, like spell casting and like doing random things.
Providing moral support, you know.
All right.
Love this table. So good.
I rolled a 9.
That
plus
hits.
6, so 15. And
Even without the 6, that hits.
Okay. Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Zombies are pretty easy to hit.
So that is a 4 plus a 3, 7 psychic damage.
Ooh, nice. It's it's looking really bad.
Dinar's gonna stay put. I don't want to invoke an attack of opportunity against me.
You can back off. I burned off its AOO already.
I didn't see that because I was in the fog.
That's
So-
true.
Yeah.
All right, Torque. It's just
Okay.
like
Let's get one more dexterity save for old time's sake.
Be very happy if this finishes.
ooh, wow.
Just
Rolling really high on those.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
super nimble.
That's gonna be 1 lightning damage. But that's not where most of my damage is coming from anyway. So let's get at it.
Hey, 1 is more than 0s.
This will be a reckless attack.
Noted.
Just finishing it out.
Ooh, yay.
Hey, finish strong.
Wow.
Oh
Finish
man,
strong.
Jack.
Can I add inspiration to that?
Because
So I'm not sure if I'm going to get the chance to use it again within 10 minutes.
Wow.
But that was a nat 20 and a nat 1.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
Mm.
Wow.
I'm going to get struck by lightning tomorrow, aren't I?
So that's like a royal flush right there. You don't see that.
Yeah.
I'm winning the lottery.
Go ahead and roll that damage.
Okay.
Wow.
Pretty.
15.
You're you just bring your maul up. Where are you going for? Where's your spot of attack here?
I think I want to take him out at the knees so that he just kind of buckles backwards and falls over the back of the ship.
Nice.
Like take him out at the knee and then he falls down and then just kind of like uppercut to the what's left of his jaw.
You take his knee like off, like it actually like you hit it and his leg just like dismembers and like falls off, and as he's falling, you uppercut in his head, just like his jaw breaks off, his neck like snaps, and it just goes down.
That sounded awesome.
Sounds like you got him.
Yeah.
Good old undead fortitude.
What?
He's like missing one leg, and like most of his head is like off to one side, but it's still kind of like
On your guard. We're not done yet.
flick.
Although everyone does have advantage against him until the start of my next turn.
Beautiful. Yeah. He's not gonna have to. I'm gonna stay where I am.
Actually, no. You know what? Sorry, that was a critical hit.
It was
So
a crit. I was gonna.
nope. That's no. He done.
Oh.
He done. I can't make his
Oh.
save on a crit.
He comes back as like,
It's like nope.
Never mind.
All right. Take a moment to kind of look around, survey the carnage, and there's just undead corpses laying around.
Torque is
deck.
going to just take a knee, both hands on his anchor as he just bows his head, mutters a prayer to Desfuna as his aura just shrinks around him and vanishes.
Oh,
after about a minute, the fog dissipates.
And
couple
so do
minutes.
all of the Talons.
A couple minutes later, I don't know if Dinar would notice that his shadow is missing or not, but he looks and like the shadow is just like running around the deck, and then it finally just like gets like sucked back to you and joins you again.
Well, that was rather odd.
Yeah, I don't. What the heck just happened there?
Magic.
Yeah, that checks out.
Well,
Yeah.
you would know.
I would know. We should get into that captain's quarters.
You can give me an Arcana check if you want, Mike.
Okay, sure. I'm
or
good at that.
Talon. Yeah, either one of you guys
Trained
could
He can go right ahead.
go down for me. Right?
That's a 9 plus 6. 15.
You gather that the amount of death and carnage located in the spot, combined with the undead, essentially has created a zone of haunting.
Oh.
Which is kind of what explains all the mysterious things that are going on. It's kind of a lingering effect that this ship has become a focal point for sort of ghostly necrotic energy.
Well, no use in formalities now. Torque is just going to walk right up to the captain's quarters and just smash in the door.
As he's doing that, would Dinar know enough to know if that's something that can be dealt with? A zone of haunting? Like, is this a hazard to passing ships, or is it just a new characteristic of this shipwreck?
With that, hard to say. Not sure if like arcane means would do it, or it has to be more of like a religious cleansing type thing. But
Oh yeah, okay.
You need a young priest.
I'd say you get the idea. It's probably beyond your means at the moment to really do anything about. It's kind of there's a lot of deathness.
Hey,
happens.
Dinar.
Yeah.
Come here.
What?
Come here.
Yeah?
You don't look so good.
What are you talking about?
Just gonna point at the giant sword wound.
Well, yeah, that hurt. But I told you we could handle this. I got potions. Are you offering to help?
Well, now I'm not so sure.
That's fair.
I'm not going to heal you if you're going to be snarky about it.
How bad is it?
It doesn't look great. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
See that black stuff there? That's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit more than just a regular wound.
Point of note, your vapor friend is still hanging out with you guys.
You want to look like that, or would you rather be back to the way you were?
Yeah, I should probably not try to look like that.
And you to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go. Turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, and like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. All right, you can have some heals, I guess. 10 healing. There you go.
5 will do nice.
That'll do the trick.
Thank you, Tayland. I appreciate that.
Yeah, how about you help me get my money back from Torque when this is all done?
Yeah, that sounds like a good
Show me
plan.
some of them tricks you were doing.
I'll try.
So you guys are you taking a peek in the captain's quarters?
Got to get that captain's log.
Hey, Torque, you got that door open?
Has Torque got the door open?
Yeah.
I did say I was just gonna just smash it.
Given a few minutes, with Torque being Torque, I mean, just to put some torque into it and get it open.
Yeah.
We're in a rush now.
Well done.
So beyond, you do find the galley containing a few more bodies and some spoiled food, and the door to the captain's quarters, which does appear to be locked.
Locked, not jammed this time.
You can give me an investigation.
I will
will-
assist with that.
Excellent. I will take And I might as well burn my bardic inspiration on this.
Let's take a look. What do you think?
And I'll add the.
LJ22 mixed with a
There we go. That's a
36i.
19 in total.
Yeah, it's not jammed. This just does appear to be locked.
All right.
You don't see any traps or anything. Just pretty
Just a lock.
straightforward lock.
Standard lock door. All right. I will attempt to.
If I'm also proficient, can I assist him with that as well?
You can. It'd be kind of like a knowledge, like
Yeah.
If you
like-
use that tool and you can use
Yeah,
this technique.
I think you guys have
kind
done
of
that
thing,
before,
so-
actually.
Yeah. No, you don't want to use that one. For this kind of lock, what
Yeah.
you want is
With-
this little thing here.
Yeah.
For tool
no,
proficiencies, yeah, I'd say like being proficient, you can help each other. It's kind of a tandem thing. I'm okay with that.
Every freaking time.
Unnatural this time. They're dirty 20.
but
They're dirty,
that's
still.
hilarious.
Oh
Wow.
man.
Yeah, putting your combined knowledge together, easy enough to pick the lock and open the captain's
I mean,
quarters.
it's no mansion lock, but it's certainly,
Yeah,
In-
it was well constructed. I appreciate the craftsmanship here.
Inside the captain's quarters, you do find what appears to be the remains of the captain as a dried out, withered husk. It looks like all the moisture, everything has been kind of sucked right out of it, and it's just like skin is just like dry parchment on the bones, and it's laying on the floor. Its hand is like kind of like gripping something. It looks like maybe parchment or cloth. It's hard to tell in its hand, and it's just kind of sprawled on its back. No blood, no wounds, just
This does not look like the effects of 3 to 4 days that we estimated this thing was.
no.
Well, no, but this might explain why there's clean bones out on the deck.
Yeah,
heck
if
happened to
there's
this guy?
life-sucking critters around here. Anywho, excuse me, Captain. I start to sort of unceremoniously unpeeling his fingers to get whatever he's holding.
Okay, give me a strength check.
These I'm good at.
There is sufficient, like the
If
rigor
I
mortis.
were
It's like the
to,
hand is just like, crunched on it.
if I were to just start casting the gust spell to assist, would he get advantage on that?
On his strength,
To like use the gust spell to pull the thing towards me.
I would say if you start to go ahead and you want to try to do that, you can give me a D100 roll as well.
Nothing bad has happened yet.
And as you start to try to pull it out, you hear kind of like a as it starts to like tear a little bit. It does seem to be parchment.
All right, then I will definitely stop the second after I notice that. It's a 97 on the D100.
Looking outside. Oh man, that fog is back again.
Wasn't
Starts
me.
And this
Torque.
time,
How good are you ripping arms off?
Dinar, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You
please.
already know the answer to that.
All right.
It's a heavy fog sitting around you.
Not
I
terrible.
will
at
point
this.
out that there is a bit of delicate work here. He's holding on to something that we don't want destroyed, but I cannot get those fingers to unclench.
Okay, you are fine then.
Surgical precision, then. And I take out my boarding axe.
Is the fog that's coming in? It's coming into the captain's quarters?
It does, and then after about a minute, it just vanishes.
Okay. Well, while they are savagely ripping this guy's arm off, Dinar wants to take a look around for like any.
Hey, we're doing it with a modicum of respect.
It's true. It's true. We need whatever's in that hand. I agree, but it's still
Give me,
it's
you give me
little-
an investigation check then.
yes. So specifically, I'm looking for like chests or something that might be of value.
Yeah, there is one large chest at the foot of the bed, and there's also a desk that does appear to have some locked drawers. It's got some papers and stuff scattered across the top as well.
Okay. Well, to match my 20, I rolled
Don't
a
even,
1.
yeah. You're like, what do I look for?
Dang.
Yeah, nothing jumps out at you.
All right, what's on that scroll or that thing that he's holding?
Guys, clothes any good?
They appear to have suffered from the whatever withered the corpse as well. They look like they've been almost kind of like if you leave something out in the cold and it becomes like super like it's like a combination of like being like sun dried, like bleached, and like frozen. It's just like hard.
Happened to one of my boots at camp.
Is there would I be able to determine if this was a magical thing, or like perhaps what school of magic, like with an
If
arcana
only you
check?
had a
or
spell.
well, but that takes 10 minutes, and we're trying not to spend forever
Or
on
like
the boat.
for what happened to the captain, you mean?
Yeah, for what happened to the captain. Like, does Dinar have any idea what might have
Give
happened
me an
to him?
arcana check.
Sure. That's 4 plus 6, so 10.
I mean, it's probably unnatural, but
All right, Talon, why don't
something necrotic? Probably.
yeah. Talon, help me check for a captain's log or something here on the captain's desk.
So, Torque, are you like just chopping the guy's hand off and
He'll try and get the arm off in like one clean swing.
easy enough?
Really
It's like it's like paper now. So
what grim
easy enough
work
for
does
you to
one
cut
asks of me?
Oh, just enough with you. Stand on your own two legs. Be your own man.
I do what I do out of choice. It
Good.
behoove you to learn some humility. And he's just gonna throw the arm at Talon's feet.
I don't want it.
Don't mind him, little guy. It's all right. I will. Can I get the thing out of his hand now that it's a little freer?
you want to just like if you take some. I say if you guys take some time at it, you can probably.
Yep. I'll get out a dagger and start just carving the.
Do I do that here or back on the ship?
I mean, while you guys are ransacking the rest of this place, I'll sit down and.
Bold of you to assume we are that brave.
You do manage to eventually get it out, and unrolling it a bit, it appears to be. It looks like it's a page from a book. You can see the tear marks along the side where it's being torn out. What languages does Flick know?
Oh, I've got a wide variety of both common and goblin.
So it is. It's in a language that you don't immediately recognize.
Well, who knows how to read? Because this
Depends what it is.
We'll take a look at it.
This ain't anything I can read. Who wants to go?
I'll take a look, I suppose. I just don't want to have to touch it.
Yeah, sure, I'll take a look.
Okay. What are your combined languages?
Common Dwarvish.
And I can add Draconic to that.
Okay.
I speak Draconic and also Aquan.
None of you recognize the writing on it.
All right.
What is the captain? What's left of him? Is he human, dwarf, elf?
Looks to be human.
Okay.
Yeah. But whatever's written on the page, you have no idea what it says. There's a lot written on there. It's a full page, and it looks like it's torn out of a book or something. But...
Is it possible we might have seen the language before, and we might have an idea of what it might be? We just can't read it.
I'd say, given your background, probably not.
Okay.
Yeah. Does it at least look like it's a page of like text, or does it look like a ledger or a table, or is it like
it's like text? Like it looks like it's written, like something written out. Yeah. But
all right. Well, we found his poetry. I don't know. I will hang on to this.
I fail to see how this will get us a reward.
Well,
unless
who knows
it's worth something.
If we don't even recognize what language it could be, it might be worth more than we realize. Let's try to see if we can at least figure out what this ship is and where it was heading.
Is there any charts, maps,
Investigation
Anything like
check
that?
for me, if you would.
Yeah.
Can I assist him in that?
With the one that you rolled before, I would say no.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm very keen to.
I have disadvantage, so I have to take the 15.
15.
Because
Okay.
I'm exhausted.
You
Oh,
are
yeah.
exhausted. 15 will be enough though. You do find so the chest is locked. The chest of the foot of the bed is locked. You can kind of ring a little bit.
Yo,
Poking
Flick.
around in the drawer.
I'm on it.
One of the drawers is kind of like in the desk is stuck a little bit, but just seems to be just kind of not made very well. So you manage to kind of like pull it out. And inside you do find a leather-bound tome. And inside there's a few different languages written. There's like pages in different entries. Most of them are common, but the odd page has like sort of different script in it. It does appear to be a log of sorts. Most of what you find would indicate that this ship belonged to the Far Traders Guild. So it is an official merchant ship. And the ports of call that you see listed in the ship are wide and varying, some that you don't even recognize. Journeys looking like months long, indicating it probably sails far to the east. But it carries a lot of cargo all over the place, all over the known world, essentially.
Any indication of where it was going?
Its last port of call was Farhaven, and it seems to have been on its way to Tyr.
Well, I think we found what we've been looking for.
Excellent. Now let's see what's in this footlocker here. Hey, Tayland, what do you think of this lock?
I think
Fine.
J26.
Yeah, I was thinking extra fine, but you're right. Fine might be the way to go. All right, let's give this a whirl. And blam.
Ooh. You deftly pick the lock of this chest and open up. Inside there are a number of sort of mundane items, a couple of kind of like woolen blankets, a fairly nice looking tri-corner hat.
I'll be taking that.
There's a coat, there's a few baubles, knickknacks, that kind of thing, and there are a pair of boots.
Ooh.
With a particularly kind of aqua, like bluish green aura to them. They've got a sheen that's
Nice
not normally what sort of like they appear to be leather, but you've never seen leather that has sort of that natural.
Anyone ever seen blue boots before? These are tasty looking.
They certainly are. I mean, if we take them back to the boat, I could give them a look over.
Sounds good. Do we? So we've got we've got the captain's logs. We've got a fair idea of who owned this boat.
We know
where's
who
it
owns it and
going?
where it was going, which is about enough information as we can need to get some kind of reward for its
Well,
place. I don't know if we want to grab any of the cargo. We might be able to get something for that, especially if we take it where it was supposed to be going.
well,
yeah,
I guess we could at least see if there is cargo.
yeah, that's
Well,
what
if
I'm
they-
thinking.
If there was a bunch of debtors who came up for him, I doubt they were interested in the cargo.
Well, yeah,
Unless
it's
they were
just-
delivering a bunch of brains.
Probably not.
They
I
might have been
hope.
between stops, is all I'm thinking. But yeah. Do we know, is there a Far Traders Guild presence in pretty much any port of call? Like where we're headed, we'd be able to let them know, kind of thing?
From what you know, it's fairly common knowledge for pretty much anyone that the Far Traders Guild, they are the largest organization in the world, and they have an outpost in pretty much every known port.
Okay.
They control most of seafaring trade everywhere. They're basically like the East India Trading Company. They
Sure.
they are the trading company.
Is there any indication of the name of this particular tub?
Yes, the name is the Handsome Hound.
Handsome Hound.
Does that ring a bell for any of
Now,
us?
wet dog. Okay.
Strange
Probably
name
not.
for a ship. Hard to rhyme with.
Well, why don't we at least check the cargo hold and see if there's anything worth reporting on?
You also see Talon looking inside. You will notice the captain's name, Terulia Hargreave. Terulia. I'll spell that out for you here.
That's a name.
That is a name.
Don't know how the hell I'm going to rhyme that, but I'll think of something.
All right.
It's probably at least worth a
probably
check.
check, right?
I'm not really keen on going down there, though, what with the bodies and everything.
Yeah, it might be a little tricky getting in there. Is there anything we can see just by looking from the top? Like if we open the grate, can we see into the,
Oh, yeah.
the hole?
Corpses.
I would say if you guys are kind of taking a look around the deck, you can see off of the starboard side that side of the ship that you could not see before is ripped wide open, where all the rocks are against the rocks, and that side of the deck is just like kind of half. There's water kind of you can see the bottom deck where the hold is just like water. You do see some empty crates kind of floating around. There seems to be a little bit of an eddy, kind of caught up in where the rocks are, and you can see bits of debris and stuff kind of floating around there. But the side of the ship has been ripped wide open.
All right. Well,
Probably not going to be able to find anything then.
yeah, whatever's down there is probably ruined. Hey, Mr. Sparkle, have we avenged you yet?
Yes.
Sweet. Then I think our work here is
Me with you. I can revive if you fall.
sure.
That sounds pretty nice.
That does sound pretty amazing.
I have reservations about this.
If you say the name Desfuna one more time.
So,
I'll
for
try
point
me.
of note, essentially this wisp, it's a creature holding it can cast a resurrection spell once, requiring no components, and then the wisp will vanish.
I don't know if we should be worried or thankful.
I think
It
we
can
should
be
do a little
both.
bit of both.
Essentially, it's a kind spirit who is willing to, because of your aid, will aid you in resurrecting a fallen foe
Awesome.
as sort of its last act of penance.
Well,
I would be interested to know what it's like to be dead.
You
So
want to
you
find
can,
out?
if anybody wants to put it down, you can just put it as a resurrection wisp.
Got it.
Do we feel the need to scuttle this tub, or is it sufficiently taken care of already by the looks of the?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
if we're not going to be grabbing anything else off of it, I mean, we can maybe get the cannons. Seems a shame to sink a perfectly decent vessel.
well, the
Yeah, or
fair
we
traders
just-
might also want to take a look at this.
Yeah, I guess we leave her intact more or less, and just let the far trader.
No, I mean, there's also, we could just have another free boat, and then, you just scrub the name. The name's already off. And
How do we get it to shore without sails?
Yeah, we gotta fix it first.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair point.
You a
That-
carpenter?
kind of
That
mission
is a
aside.
weird thing, isn't it? We don't know why that's been done. Why would a bunch of undead remove sails and remove the name of the ship?
Yeah, that is weird.
Hey, Mr. Sparkles, what's going on with the sales nonsense?
I do not understand.
Yeah, well, that figures.
Well, maybe that's something we can hash out on our way to port. I think I'm done here.
Yeah, all right. Just
All
mark
right.
down the coordinates on our sea chart so we can tell them where it is.
Yeah, that's a good call.
All right. Well,
Maybe put up a big sign that says "Warning" for anybody else coming by this area.
Oh, dead open inside or something.
Haunted zone.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to call it then for this evening as you return to the ship, and we'll pick it up there next time. So thank you all for tuning in and enjoying. Sorry, Mike, what are you saying?
I was going to say next time will be in 2021.
Next time will be in 2021. Yes,
we do have. Are we still planning on doing that thing over the break?
Yeah, we're gonna do some sort of holiday one-shot type thing. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be fun. It'll be something cool because it's D&D, so it's just cool by default. But yeah, stay tuned for that. We will have a special festival themed podcast up on our Podbean as well soon. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and we will see all of you in the new year. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us on this adventure, and happy gaming. See y'all.